So let me allow you make some little remarks or welcome.
Good morning to all. We thank the Lord for this day that He has made. It's my pleasure to be asked to chair this such an government precious, most important occasion. I believe statistics, and for that matter, data collection is essential for effective planning and nation building. Over the years, individuals, corporate and government policies and programs have been based on speculations, estimations, and guesswork, leading in some cases to appalling and abysmal results. For an effective execution and best results in all corporate and government programs, there is the need for an accurate data. It is in the light of this that the Ghana Statistical Service is to be commended in its effort to provide an efficient and reliable data for national development. I therefore count it a privilege and honor to be asked to chair this all-important national assignment. I'm pleading for the support of all of us herein gathered for a fruitful discourse. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes. Hello. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sankofa Yenchi. We should have started this program with a prayer. It escaped me because of our lateness. And so we call upon our brother Gilbert Opoku Nyakun to give us the opening prayer.
Mama Empire. Onyankopon totrobonsu. Aye bi afọ mankma. Okatechie. Wa udin ene honam ese. Wo de onu obi nche utumi mu. Saas na onu obi nche wonu nyam mu. Ene da yo madawase. Sa wo de abadwumadi kese a ti se ase. E da wase mia me ahoro a yefi bae. Ya nte ohaw bi anan kwanhia ensem biara. Na wo de nyina bom se nuanom baako. Na ye badwendwen o ma ne mpuntuo ene ne yedie eho. Sabre wo de wo ye totrobo nsu nyame okatachi okamafo ne yedimafo ya bankese a etwerewo a yempon hweda yi biara da. Sabre ya behia yi kokromoti ensa ahomopo se dofuo no ahum mpo afuo na nye yie. Eno nti yes lese wo be ma wo ho nkronkron esane wo ye ntem na wo betretene ye bia ya adwim ne yani na de ebesua biara wo ha no yenya mu entiase edo na ye kwa na se dwumadie ne duru so a yenyina ka ye ho abom aboa ama o man mpuntuo ne hyehyɛ akoso samre a ye hyase ye de udin na ye hyase ye wie so a ye de udin be wie de wa ye no na ase ni kabia ye de ama wo ase danka udin nhyiranka udin e wo Jesus Christ of Nazareth din wadumti amen.
Amen. Yo, many of them are that say, Gabriel Opoku Nyakun, that say, Inti Yawa Santimemu, so say the tree no fra brofono, na come out. Because maybe if you check, Jabini Bapa, maybe if you check. Yo, thank you very much, my brother and colleague, Gabriel Opoku Nyakun. Yes, so this is the middle bit of the stakeholders meeting. And we have some regional statisticians among us. And so when I call your name, you just give me a wave if you are around. But before that, I'll plead with all of us that we should take this announcement in good books. This program is running live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and what have you. Yeah. Abefo. I don't know. Nti woti ai obi hwe obi hwe pa. Nti ebesre omo twa program ni say you find your phones no and to silent. Ebesre mo. So if you notice me dear China dear na what do no. So be a emfa de bia emba. Echire hon so information desk. Information bia wo hia bia wetimi asori alcohol. Now because a live program into no crew no SSS nka e ma ye ntwitwa omo enemu nti opese o sorry na ukoye ohun yi a ufa nchen se ya ana nchen se ya ebeboa omo uba obi fie nso a oso obusa de ohia pa ye emfa na megu nsuo ana se oyemu enye oyi a ehfa nti mesere se upie abonten a osa benkum eye emema de osa nifa eye ema de nti upie a na abakoye ohun yi afen nso se nsembusa bi na opese ubusa eno so oma wonsa so a na yafrɛw yewo ema kama so echire ho a omema yensuo tu hia nsuo a wetimi akwa echire ho ana wetimi ama obi ama wonsuo na wanom yada mo ase. Yeah, so the original statisticians around Bono region, my own brother Dr. Yakubu Kanyiri, if he's around. Okay, just give us a wave, Doc. Doc, you are welcome. Bono East region, yeah, brother Richard Kumashi went to me amba meeting be atrenonti ni senior colleague back also aba Emmanuel Osu Boating. Thank you, Osu. Teach my phone what to say. Well, that's it. Ahafo region, Bernard Udru. Okay. And my introduction to the host region on a far end one, Richard Saki. Okay. Inti ya in the Sabema host no. Ya oji entra hano on kabibinche. Hey, mufacha me. Yeah. Ow. Ko. We dey remember about Western North. Jacob Osborne. Yes, that's it. Rapini, facha me. Yo, Richard Saki. My welcome address.
Thank you very much, MC. Good morning to all, and welcome to Micklin Hotel for this very important exercise. That is the stakeholder consultative meeting on the Ghana 2023 Integrated Business Establishment Survey 1, that we put it IBES 1. We have gathered here based on 4 objectives. The first is to prepare our minds on the upcoming IBES and to seek our cooperation during the data collection exercise. 2 is to let you know what IBES means. What does it stand for? Also to know the uses or the potential uses of the data that will be collected, and then the benefit thereof. The third one is to bring you on board as stakeholders, okay, to help in publicizing the IBES. And last but not the least is to use you as IBES ambassadors for the various umbrella bodies. So I will entreat each and every one of us to, as much as possible, limit our movement and to be very attentive when it comes to the presentation and the discussions. Please, let's feel free to ask any question bothering our minds after the presentation so that we would all be clear in our minds as to the information or the message we are sending out there to our colleagues, to our members, and to the other people that we may encounter in our daily endeavors, so that the success of the exercise will be achieved one in our region and in Ghana at large. Once again, I warmly welcome you to Micklin Hotel. Enjoy the program, and thank you very much.
Thank you. The host, Mr. Richard Seki. Yes. So, on the program, we need to hear the keynote address from our Director of Administration of Ghana Statistical Service, Mr. Kojo Asante Mensah.
Thank you very much, Patrick. Mr. Chairman, Director of Regional Offices, Regional Director for Statistical Service, National Coordinator for distinguished ladies and gentlemen, nice one. You meeting cra and in chia every government statistician, the CEO of Ghana Statistical Service, and a deputy government statistician, Ebramunina. Say, Omudamasi, say a tone suffer more, maba, Nenu bedin kuta, ma, Modesha yensa, dear Yaya Kodru, any dear Yaba Jeffrey Moho. Ntie niji bebre se munyina maba. Ghana Parliament passe Act B. Your friend Statistical Service Act 1003. No Eshayen. Edi adwuma bi ahye yensa. A yenye no emre bia ne adwuma asese yeye. The adwuma na yeye no. De yenyina ni bebre a yeta aka pa ye enipakan your friend in population and housing census. And no, if you do be a yebi. The population census in you are, if you know a twasso no. I'm running share ye say. Yanya the friend no economic census. And non enti anayabeshi hai. And no anayatuni ding integrated business establishment survey. Yebechi chirimu, intini yabeshi hai. Na sanshia mui yesi mache ya ebiama enkranfo yakoye biama tamalefo nti empanifo no mudi echi kuko bi ne doso ye kokọ sa region ene edru opemso adehye eso ene ye dia ba wo se ekru ha ye behia empanimfo a edede adwuma no empanimfo a edede asọre ano empanifo a da NGO adwuma no na ye nyina adi nkita ho na adwuma a ye bedie no ye de adamadi na adwuma na ye bedie no a yato ne din se IBES no we kakakra na menua no aba ba chechire mu ye ni tie wamu ani se midi kaka no Ghana mra hye yen se kro bia mpu so a eso yehu de ekọ kro no so nti du baabi abehwe ne yaye hwehwemu ne de abetu gya se malaria yare no ekofom ne yaye hwehwemu ne yahu HIV de ne yaye hwehwemu yes inflation kosoro ne yaye hwehwemu yes economy no se yaduru middle income emu abie ye ka we nyina no ya ye nka asemba ako a ya ye ntanka ne se enipa dodo sen ene adwuma sen ene wo krum ha ye ntanka de ka ne se unemployment ekosoro na adwuma sen ne wo ho nti we no beboa ya ma yehu enwuma dodo a ewo eman a ye friend Ghana mu so ton ice cream cry ye adwuma ye pese yehu poppy for no nti sa economic census ya yato ne din IBES ya ye be ye pese yehu adwuma bia e wo ha wo ye tiga pese yehu tiga dodo a wo Ghana akonfo dodo a wo Ghana asori dodo a wo Ghana wa wate wan kura adwuma a NGO a yepese ehu adwuma de mfaso ba de mfaso ma nyina no yepese ehu nti hia momoa se mobeboa yen ya bodehuru ama obiati na se yehye adwumadie na se a yekọ ni yekoje information every timamufo ho a anye twema mentwe because emfaso ye wie emfaso de bebre ye nyina ne se emfaso ne doso ebi ni se wo ye tailor obehu tailor fo dodo e wo krom ha na nkutade bia wo ho a wo ton ahoma a wo hu wo mu a wo ton ahoma na ba bia de bekọ akoma wo mu no odwuma nso akoso edi mpuntuo dwuma bebre nipa bebrebe covid ye ba na nzin aban ba ye ho se ko bebusa ye betime hu nipa dodo a ya yeto adwuma mu no o mo ebehia moa yesi da bi o ye ni data bi a ye betimi de aboa ye bibi kakra e de ma wo mo but ne fi se de ye be yesesi ne ka ye ne dadaada ka me hu se o mo ton farm milk se ye de fie na wotwe mienu a o mo nya sika farm milk fo no o mo dodo ye aduasa nti so penipa aboa mo de a o mo de oda o ma no onie ye mfre no no mfa ne nkrofo mra o mo a eton fene say eye nipa o mu hia wo bia de oda no ne ye nkohu no ne mfa moa ne nkosi ni so nti eye gwe nyina wi a daache bi ne beboa obi se ye nkase podo nhye ne hye so de a se ye dai ye nkase yare mra ana at your friend saying at arrange bi at arrange bi mra na say ye nipa yi de e dan emre bia bibi to ye enti esi na ye hia aban mo a ye be pese akra o mu hia ho enti we ne ade a ye de to mani ba be hia ne adi hu komo na ensem bia hamo ye wie a monte ase mabusa ye de mpanifo bebre aba ye yi bia kire o mo so be call mo region ti bibia ho bia ne betie no ha bia no ye de ye afutuo ye de aka ye adwuma ne ho ne ye adwuma na tumpon na ye wie ne nyina magana nso aye den atumpon na ya ma ne se eduruma bi ne ehia mo a ese ke de kokwasi ho ne de akokwadwo ho na kwasi complete e ba ya ye chiche me nya bi enso ye ba ho ye bebusa ono so nya adwuma bia na fe ye hia se adwumafo na be de ne ye de odi akọ enti we ni ade titrewa eda ye di so ya ye bida ye wo nimdiefo mbe ye adwuma no ye hia mu nyansa aka ho ye hia mu dawuru aka ho se de me nua ba akoka ye no ma ya ambassadors amaye maboa ya me abodawuru ama adwuma no akoso ye ti eda mase se mo ba ye na mo betie na sopem na makwa akoye se de ye nkutaho ebedie no makwa akobo ho dawuru amaye ti nyame nhia ye nyina ne mfa so papa ntie de ekoso no eda mase pi amen.
Yo, umefo nsembo. Hello. Nti yada yan papa Director of Administration or Ghana Statistical Service, Kojo Asante Mensa. Papa yada se pa. Yo, after some common ankasa, ebe koso. Na Mr. Penifua Eshiemu ha se nka o se yeri bibi kakra aka ya no. Na hotel no ebo mo ho. Se empesi ebe tena se atwe o mo nti no. Ebe stress ebe ma your project coordinator no I any presentation. So we na almost set up na your breaki kakra. Yeri bibi aka ya no. Ya better na yebusa your questions no. Se munim be ya adwin dia na yɛnto nsa mfrɛ project coordinator no yɛnti a yɛnyinaa yɛhyia mu ha Mr. Anthony Kraka na ɔnyɛ ne presentation no na ɔnkyerɛ yɛn yɛnti a yɛaba ha nti mɛsrɛ sɛ high table ebɛtumi apagya wɔn mu kakra na wɔn atena audience no mu a owie a na yɛasan aba yɛntwerɛtwerɛ yɛn questions no nso nto hɔ owie presentation na sɛ wowɔ question bi a biribi kyerɛ w'adwene a na watumi abusa medam ase.
Patrick Ajekum Midawase. Thank you very much, Patrick Ajekum. As he said, my name is Anthony Kraka, the National Project Coordinator for the Integrated Business Establishment Survey. So, Papa, so permit me to speak English during this presentation. And so I will try as much as possible. Where there's a need to break down certain concepts into three, I'll do that. But right from the go, I want to say, permit me to speak English. Yeah, thank you. So I'm here to present the Ghana 2023 Integrated Business Establishment Survey. And as was said earlier, this is a meeting of key stakeholder institutions. The data producers, but because we can't call all data producers from everywhere here, we need to call representatives of these data producers. And so you are here as key representing major data producers in the Ashanti region. Now, this is my outline. Thank you. My outline, basically, we're going to look at the background of IBES. We'll look at what is new in 2023. As was said earlier, we've done some before. So what is new in the 2023 IBES? We'll look at some models in the 2023 IBES. We'll focus on the benefits, because as you go around to speak to your members, they'll ask, so what is the benefit of this whole IBES data? I mean, if you use it, what benefit is it going to bring to us? We'll look at some policy demands at the global level in Ghana in terms of what benefits and policy that the IBES data will bring. Then we'll look at some timelines, and as key stakeholders gathered here, we'll look at what is expected from us as key stakeholders. So, what is IBES? I mean, we've talked about IBES. First, IBES is an abbreviation. Abbreviation representing Integrated Business Establishment Survey. And it's an economic census. And as was said earlier, we have several kinds of censuses in the country. We have just conducted our population census 2021. And we are going to do an economic census now. And basically, it involves counting every business. So basically, as we counted every human being in Ghana during the population census, the IBES will involve counting every business or every entity that undertakes production of goods and services, either for profit or not for profit. So it's not only those who produce goods and services for profit, but also includes those who produce services. If you visit church, we are not going to church. The church doesn't make profit. So it includes every entity that takes some production of goods and services. So we are going to count every business in the country. And IBES is structured in two phases. We have the first phase, which is going to start anytime soon in October. And that one is a census. The first phase, we are counting every business. Then we follow up with the second phase in 2024, where we are going to sample a few businesses, because we are going to go more details into finding out the operations of the businesses. But because the first way is a census. We cannot, if you want to go very detailed, then the census will be very long and you might not be able to finish. And so the second phase is a census, a sample. We'll sample from to represent all the cluster of businesses, and they will ask them more detailed questions for us to understand the challenges, how they will do their operations, and all that to be able to report. So the second phase, as I said, will come in 2024. Now, over the past century, the past 100 years in Ghana, we've conducted 4 economic censuses. The first one was conducted in 1962, after we conducted our first population census, our population in 1960. We follow up with an economic census in 1962. That economic census focused purely on the industry sector and the distributive trade sectors. Basically, when we talk about industry sector, we are talking about the manufacturing companies, you are talking about the mining and quarrying companies, you are talking about utility like electricity and water, and then we are talking about the construction sector. And then we look at distributive trade. In 1962, we're talking about the trade shops that sell goods and services. Sell goods, like the stores and all that. So that's where we focus on in 1962. Then fast forward 1987. After our economic census in 1984, we conducted another economic census. But this one in 1984, we focused purely on the industry sector. As I said earlier, the industry sector is purely the manufacturing subsector, where we manufacture goods and services. We make furniture companies and all that. So we're talking manufacturing, where there's some process and transformation of goods into something else. And then we have the mining sector. We all know mining of gold and all that. And then we have the construction and then the utility, electricity companies and water. Fast forward 2003 again, we focus purely on the industry sector. As I said, that was done in 1987. And then in 2023, after we conducted the 2010 population census, we did another economic census again in 2013. That was more exhaustive. That cut across all sectors. That didn't only focus on the industry, but cut across all that, more comprehensive and was more cross-cutting. So in this one, we included all businesses that were in the services, that were doing trade. We included businesses that you can find in the agriculture sector. For instance, if there are shops, if there are poultry farms and all that, in 2013, we included all those businesses. And so in the 2013 one, it was more exhaustive. However, they had some limitations because we focused purely on businesses that were in structures, and we also excluded businesses that are purely household businesses. We excluded businesses that you would not ordinarily find in the houses if you don't see it from outside. So if somebody was, for instance, selling akpeteshi in her hall in 2013, we didn't include those ones. If somebody was selling cigarettes in her hall in 2013, we didn't include those ones. So these are examples of business that we exclude. Even though we included shops that you can find from outside when you are walking around the streets, you can find them, you can see them visibly in 2013. We included those ones, but we excluded some. Now in 2023, we intend to include every business so far as there is some activity going on. It's an entity. As I said, the focus is an entity that produces goods and services either for profits or not for profit. So if you do consultation in your hall, if you have a shrine in your hall, nobody sees it, you want to know, and all that. If you do church services in your hall, you want to know. If you produce goods if you do kenke in your hall that nobody sees, you want to know. And so it's going to cut across not only factories or companies, but it's going to cut across all businesses, as was said earlier. Even the hawkers, those who sell in ice water in the streets, you want to know what they do. and those who sell BC in a wheelbarrow and all that. We want to include all businesses as much as possible. Now, what do we know? As we speak now, we know that based on the previous economic census that I just talked about in 2013, we have about 638,000 businesses across the country. And is about, and that's purely, as I said, was more cross-cutting across all sectors. But we do not know what it is now in terms of the total number of businesses in this country. And we need to know, as a country, how many businesses we have. We are expecting over 2.6 million businesses because of simple projection that we did. However, this projection is subject to a lot of margin. We don't know the precision level because typically countries do not project, but we are projecting about over 2.6 million businesses that we expect from this business survey. How many will be agriculture? We do not know. Of course, we know that previously, in the last previous economic census, we had about 2,800 agriculture businesses. I mean, when they're talking about business, the 2013 was focusing on businesses that you can see, not only this excluded farmers, but only businesses, so take note of that. And for services, we had 527,000, but what is in 2023, we do not know. And as much as possible, we need to know. And we had also about 108,000 businesses in industry. That's, I explained earlier, that is manufacturing and construction and all that. By 2023, we do not know what it is. We need to know as a country to be able to implement effective policies. We know that over the past, between the 2003 and 2013, industry sector almost quadrupled. Businesses multiplied more than 4 times in terms of the numbers. But what it is today, we do not know. We have to measure as a country to have accurate data to inform policy. This extends to the sizes of businesses, because if you want to be more successful with policy implementation, you need to be able to have more targeted policies. Policies for small businesses, micro businesses, medium business, and large businesses. And as a matter of fact, it's the dream of every country, every government, to ensure that we grow more large businesses compared to small, because more large businesses, we can employ more people and all that. What is it that we have done over the period for which we can measure and show to see whether we have achieved our target, has our policies been effective over the period? And so, yes, we know that we have about 509,000 micro businesses are basically those who employ 1 to 5 persons. And then small businesses are those who employ 30 to 100 people. And the medium are those who employ 31 to 100 people. And large businesses are those who employ 101 and above. And as I said, it's a dream of every government or every country to ensure that there are a lot more large businesses. As we speak, our statistics shows that we have 2,500 large businesses. What it is now, we do not know. We have to know for government or whoever to ensure that, to see whether the target set for the country we have achieved, to evaluate policies going forward to ensure whether our policies have been effective or not effective. Similar arguments holds for the businesses that similar arguments hold for the policies, the businesses that are owned by by both Ghanaian and non-Ghanaians. Now, we know that from the statistics now, as we speak, that typically you see that size of business gravitates towards non-Ghanaians. In other words, more foreign businesses own large businesses than they do for small businesses. And only about 89% of businesses, of large businesses are owned by Ghanaians. Is it the case that our policies have been effective over the past decade, for which reason there are a lot more Ghanaians owning large businesses, for instance, so that we expect about 95% of Ghanaians owning large businesses. I mean, that's the dream of every government, that we ensure that large businesses are owned by each citizen, so that we do not have a lot of this sending dollars outside the country where it affects our currency and all that. And so we need to know what is the distribution of this in terms of ownership, to inform a review of the policies going forward, to ensure that we can have policies that will meet our targets of ensuring that Ghanaians own more large businesses, for instance. So these statistics in 2023, we need to know. And how do we know? The only way to know is to conduct an economic census of businesses, as we did in 2013. And so we are going to conduct another census in 2013 to be able to update, to build an online one of the objectives of these is to build an update online business register. So we're going to have a business register that is updated. We're going to have a statistical business register that is updated. And we're going to have, in this day of digitization, we want to ensure that our business register is online and is updated, but with restrictions, because no country gives out because your private information will be protected, and so you don't find some private information of all businesses online in the way. And then we want to update the categorization that I just talked about. I just showed you some statistics that categorize businesses by nationality, who owns the businesses, the sizes and all that. We want to update that to see what is the categorization in 2023 to inform the policy, the effectiveness of the policy over the period. How has politics been effective and what targets have we set? And also profile the distribution of businesses by the nationality, where they are. How many businesses are in Ashanti region that are owned by foreigners? How many businesses in Ashanti region that are micro? How many businesses are, and you can even narrow down the statistics to all suburbs in Ashanti region, for instance. Around Benshia, how many businesses do we have there? How many are small? How many are micro? How many are owned by foreigners, for instance? And so we want to update this profile to be able to narrow down these statistics of the categorization to small areas, to localities, to townships, and all that. And establish the businesses that can drive the growth of businesses in this country, or the growth of the country. Typically, every country must know where its strength lies, so that we have to call competitive advantage. Where do your strength lie? For which policies can be used to enhance the growth of that area. We have been talking about agro-processing as one of the pivots for our development. Is it the case? Is that sector more resilient to shocks, for instance, where we will say that this is our strength for government to be able to implement policies that will enhance the growth of these sectors, that will drive the others. There are some sectors, some activities that have a lot of linkages, that their growth enhances the growth of other sectors, typically manufacturing. And so we need to know the growth poles and how we can enhance the drivers of these growth poles to ensure that businesses grow and the country ensures the growth that we require. And also to assess the wealth of businesses and determine the change in the structure. As I said, we've been doing this since 1962, and we need to do this to measure the changes in structure over time for us to know how effective policies have been over the period. Because without statistics, you'll be in the dark. You don't know where you are going. All you know is that you implement policies. But whether your policies are achieving the objectives that we've set for ourselves as a country, we need to know. So IBES will address all those challenges as an objective. Now, we want to look at what is new in the 2023 IBES 1. I mean, as I said, the previous ones had its limitations in terms of the scope for which we did the IBES. But then, in this one, we're going to include even businesses and their sheds. So typically, if you go to some markets, you find sheds just having 4 posts with some roof. Yes, so we include all those businesses. We go to market. We go to the market. You see people selling goats and shirts, fowls, and all those things. We are including all those ones. And then we include even business that operate in structures, not purpose. So, for instance, you find businesses, churches operating in classrooms. If you leave out the churches because they are in classrooms, you might be leaving out a particular church, and you might not have complete sense of what the number of businesses are. Because hitherto, in 2030, we only focused on the school. We didn't consider the various churches or the various activities that go on in the schools. This time, we want to include all activities that go on in structures that are not purposed for that activity. So schools that host churches, schools that host other activities, be it a market, whatever you want to know. And also, we want to do include another very important activity that we excluded in previous one. That is businesses, open spaces but fixed location. Typically, you go to our markets and you find our mothers selling on tables, small tables. We're going to include all those ones. And those who sell under umbrellas and all that, we're going to include them. That's why we could be in open space. They are in open space, subject to the weather and all. And then mobile businesses, we are looking at the hawkers, as I said earlier. And then we're looking at virtual businesses, online businesses. We're looking at those who trade online. Because these days of technology, a lot of businesses are going on online. That if we do not account for them, we'll be undercounting businesses in the country. So, again, what is new? One thing we want to do with the 2023 IBES is to link businesses with the population register. And also, we're going to collect the GPS so we're going to get digital address of all businesses. Take the GPS of the location of all businesses. And also, we're going to automate the process to make data collection analysis faster. We intend to also include data on digital finance. We want to know businesses that do transaction online, maybe other Momo, they receive card Momo transactions. And also those that are more responsive to the environment. Typically, how are companies, for instance, disposing of their waste? Are they adding to the environmental pollution, or they put in mechanisms to ensure that there is a minimization of the depletion of the environment, for instance? Now, let's just look at examples of the businesses I talk about. I've spoken a lot about the scope, but then, so you are looking at, typically about factories, you are looking at training institutions, and so on. All these are part of the thing I just talked about. They are looking at fitting shops, for instance, even dot instructors, fabrication shops, carpentry shops, block making factories. All of them are part of the data we're going to collect. Churches, temples, mosques, shrines, because as I said earlier, we are looking at our focus is not only for profit-making businesses, but our focus is also on non-profit businesses. Of course, we know that churches have employees, and so they contribute in a way to the unemployment. So we need to know all that. And then we talk about public sector institutions like where I work, Ghana Statistical Service, the Ministry of Education, all of them are part of. When we look at the agriculture sector, we will also include the poultry farms. We include the greenhouse farms. These days, you find a lot of greenhouse farms. And then we have the irrigation operation farm activity offices like this. And also look at the shops and all the stores that we know of we see around. And then we look at if there is a shop or there's a signpost for any business activity. We follow the signpost and get to the business activity. In our marketplaces, we have what you call stalls, those small cubicles. You see that when you go to the marketplace, there's a small wall partitioning somebody from the other. We're going to include all those ones. And then, of course, the universities, secondary schools, primary schools, kindergarten, all the schools, educational institutions will be. And then the hospitals, clinics, maternity homes, mobile businesses, you're talking about the hawkers, those selling on the wheelbarrows and all that. Then we have the business open space, as I gave an example. If you have market traders selling on tabletops and umbrellas, there are sometimes a market, you see them at the same place, along the street, they will just kaput their baskets and put their things on it. All those people will get to them. So somebody talk about Dolce Coco and all those people. Kelewili sellers will get all of those people and get data from them. Then Momo agents, we're going to get data from them as well. Shoemakers on tabletops. I can see a lot smiling. That tells you the work is quite huge. Right, so it's a very tall order, lots of work. And we want to get data from businesses in residential premises. So in your homes, if there are businesses being undertaken in your hall that we do not know about, we want to know because it's a business. And all units. So, and I said earlier, business under sheds, for instance, if you have a coconut seller who has just mounted some 2 poles with how do you call it, some iron roof, we want to know what he's doing there and all that. Goat, you see typically in the goat market, with their dog markets, you see them just having a small sheds and selling the dogs or the goods under them. And then online businesses we want to know. So in this, the models, just a snapshot. We just want to know basically the contact information about the business. We want to know whether there's a head office. We want to know the principal activity, what the business does, the employment data, how many people are employed in the business, how many people are managing the business and all that. I want to know the establishment records, whether they keep records, have some identification. We talk about the green, whether the business is, how responsive is the business to the environment. And then we talk about digital finance and some unique identity and some idea about the turnover so that we would categorize the size, whether the business is large or small and what have you. So we want to know the turnover, a range. Does it make business turnover for a year between 1 to 10,000, that kind of information. Now, in all these, how is this going to address policy? As I said earlier, as a country, if we do more targeted policies, it is more effective. How do we ensure that we do specific targeted policies to address specific businesses, small businesses, micro businesses? And so knowing the characterization of businesses would help us to do more interventions that will target specific businesses. Otherwise, you do a broad policy that will not be more effective. And as was said earlier, when COVID struck, for instance, government needed data to support businesses. Though we had some data, but that was 2013, which was outlived. I mean, several things have happened between 2013 and when COVID struck. And so the data was quite old. We need to know. And so going forward, we can update this business so that we can provide the data to enhance more business-centered support. How do government come in to, for instance, help people who are in crisis, where there's shocks? How do we ensure that if a bank wants to help Kelewili provide producers, how does it target them to be able to come to that support, to help them? If a bank knows that he wants to support good sellers in this country, where are the good sellers? Where can we find them? So all this data will provide that basis to enhance the support that the businesses will require. And also, we need to provide more directives to be able to moderate. Typically, if you, as a country, if you know where your supply chain is for specific businesses, you'll be able to implement policies that will enhance, that will mitigate the effectiveness, that will mitigate how shocks would affect them. So that you moderate, if for instance, when COVID strike, we know that many people import goods into this country for their inputs, for their manufacturing wares. And then we noticed that China was struck by COVID, and so people cannot import inputs anymore. And so then businesses have to suffer from these global supply challenges. And so as a country, we need to put in measures that to moderate the effect of these shocks when they come. Shocks will come. But if you are too susceptible to foreign shocks, if your economy is too weak to shocks because within the country you do not have that buffer to be able to, you are not self-sustaining, where you always depend on foreign input, for instance. So we need to know the specific kind of activities we have in a country so that we can implement policies that to ensure that there are not too much over-reliance on foreign inputs so that when shocks strike, they will not die. The business know that at least they can survive for some period and all that. And we need to do that as a country. But so to do that, you need to provide the data to enhance those policies that will ensure the growth of businesses and to moderate the effect of shocks on them. And also we need to know how business have been changing, the patterns and all that, and to look at the economic outlook of. So all this is what I've expressed in this chart, so I've spoken about this chart. Then we look at now the most important thing that your members will ask you when you get to them. So the business data, this IBES data, how is it going to benefit me as a business person? Because they will ask you, as you go out there to speak the good news to your members, they will ask you, how is this IBES going to benefit me as a business person? You would notice that as a business person, if you put two people, let me just give you two scenarios. If you put two people in a forest, one person is given a map, knows how to navigate in the forest. The other person have no clue at all how the forest looks, whether there are rivers or there are animals in the jungle. I can bet you if you don't take your time, the one with the map will be eaten by a lion. The one with the map will just navigate easily and then go to the other side. That is what these statistics will do. If a business person uses this data, we are sure that it will enhance the profitability of the business and to make that business more competitive compared to its peers. You know as a business person where you can get your supplies. You know where your demands are, where those who uptake your products. So in the total value chain of your business, you know exactly where you can get the people that the location to sell your business, the where you can get your business, and where you want to make, if you want to even get some foreign partners. Typically, we talk about after where Ghana is now open to the international community. Many want to come down to partner people to get local business, local partners, local sources of inputs. With this data, you are likely to get into the global partnership in this advent of AFTA that we are talking about. AFTA is African Continental Free Trade that we have the head office in Accra now. Now, there are a lot of businesses who sometimes want to do what we call feasibility studies before they're established. You do not need to do that anymore with this data. We provided the statistics, unless, of course, the statistics that you require goes beyond the statistics that you have collected data. But as much as possible, this data will save a lot of businesses the cost and time that they will have to implement, do some feasibility studies for their business decisions. And so it's a very rich data that will serve you as a business person, will serve you to ensure that you will enhance your turnover and your competitive advantage. Indeed, it will also, as I said earlier, it's going to provide the basis to support businesses when there's in terms of in terms of business downturns, when there are troughs, it talks of general economic crisis where sales are going down and government want to support, or even financial sector want to support. And also in terms of shocks, it provides us that basis for that support. And even investors and entrepreneurs, it will guide them where to locate businesses and all that. And also to enhance, when this business is used, this data is used very well, we are sure that it's going to enhance the growth and revenue generation of communities where there are no business activities in communities, and entrepreneurs establish business there based on informed decisions from this data. Of course, we expect that this would enhance the growth of localities and communities, and also enhance the menace of unemployment that we have been battling with all this while. Because as businesses grow, we employ more people, and then will ensure that the graduates that are on the streets and are getting job will get job, and then we'll all go a long way to enhance our development of the country. In Ghana Statistical Service, we need this data badly as a basis to rebase the GDP. I'm sure many of you have heard of the GDP, the gross domestic product. That is basically looking at the value of goods and services in the country. This data is going to serve as the basis to be able to rebase the GDP, and also serve as the basis to rebase the producer price index, and also serve as a basis to rebase the index of industrial production. These are all macroeconomic indicators that the country needs to measure effectiveness of policy, to measure the performance of the economy, and to measure its competitiveness, its growth compared to other countries, and it's used by the international community and all that. So we as a country use it as a basis to rebase some of these indicators. So I've said a lot about the benefits, and I guess by now we all know that this is very important for us as business community and as a country, and also for us as a region. But what are the timelines? We've started that activity quite far back. As we speak, we are currently training the national trainers. We'll do the pre-test of the instruments, and then we'll go to field in October. We hope to finish this and come up with a report by the first quarter of next year, and also launch a report in the first quarter of next year. And the register should be ready in the first quarter of next year, and then we'll get the microdata ready. Question is, as very eminent people seated here, eminent people from the business community, producers of data, what is expected of us in this meeting, from this meeting? I think that we all know that you are very important for this exercise. And as I've said a lot about what the work exercise is and how it's going to benefit you. But then you are here as representatives of your members. You have a lot of members. We could have brought all the data producers here. I'm sure the whole of the stadium could have contained the business producers in the country, in Ashanti region. And therefore, we needed to bring you here as representatives of these members. So we want to encourage you to encourage your members to provide us the accurate data, and also to accommodate our field staffs. Because you see, if you don't give us the data, you see, in Ghana Statistical Service, we cannot conjure. We only measure what is on the ground. We only measure what we see, what you tell us. If you tell us, give us wrong data, that is what it's going to be. And then the country suffers, and you and I will suffer. So we want to urge your members to give us accurate data as much as possible. We want to urge your members to accommodate our field staffs. They are not there to collect your information to give to anybody. No. Your information is protected. Your personal information will not be given out there. Your personal information, you only find your data as part of other data. So it's aggregated. You don't find Kojo Mensah and Kraka Ventures with my private individual data published. No. The published data will be aggregated. And so let your members know that their data is protected. In fact, the enumerated field workers are going to swear before a court, a justice of the court. At the training, they will swear that they are not going to give your data to anybody else. During the training, we can invite you to come and watch what goes on. After the training, enumerators swear oath of secrecy that your information will not be given to anybody else. And so we want to assure you from this background, go tell our members that they should just freely give the information. They should accommodate interviewers. If any interviewer, for instance, we find an interviewer has divulged a private individual information to somebody else, that person can be jailed, for instance. And so be assured that your information is protected, and please accommodate our members. The data is going to be purely for statistics. It's purely for statistical purposes. Ghana Statistical Service, as we said, we ourselves are bound by our confidentiality ethics and our Statistical Service Act not to divulge your individual information to somebody else. And so your information will not go along way to affect you in terms of tax purposes. It's not going to affect you in any way badly, but it's rather going to enhance your business, enhance your turnover, enhance your profitability, and make you more competitive if you use this data to the benefit of your business and the benefit of your members, your business. And so please be assured. And when our members come, you can please tell your members they can inspect the ID cards. In fact, you find the field workers wearing this jacket. Okay, you find them wearing this jacket as I wear now. You see my colleagues wearing some of them, and then you find them wearing this jacket with this logo and with a tag at the back, Integrated Business Services. That tells you that these are people from the Ghana Statistical Service. And so we want to encourage you to go and educate them on the benefits of the IBES. We have said a lot. We're going to come to question and answers time, but please tell them about the benefits of the IBES and get them to be involved in this exercise. Please, we want to encourage you to support us as focal persons. Right from here, we want to use you as our mouthpiece, so that as you go, we send our enumerators to the field. I mean, we all know, and it's from past experience, they're going to face some challenges, because we know that clearly there are challenges in the economy. Let's be frank with ourselves. They will speak about the challenges and all that. But as I said, we want to enhance their turnover. We want to make sure that they use the data. The data, when you collect it, go a way to help them so that these challenges can be minimized going forward. And so we want to use you as focal persons. So when you have these challenges, our regional reps will call you when the enumerator goes to go to maybe the market and meet, want to get data from Adwa Man, who is a tomato seller. And Adwa Man who says that, me for data who hard dream, free hand calling him. Then we'll call the queen mother, ya menu, queen mother, me paucho, Adwa menu, ya ban horse on my data. Then she will say, Adwa menu, now yes, sir. Famamo, and yes, she would a kuntabook and a moye. You see, things like that. So as you become our focal persons, we would now have you to engage Adwa Menu to be able to make things easy. So at the end of the day, Ghana will benefit, we all benefit, and our businesses will grow. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Yeah. So, let me see. So let's do it better.
Yes, I'm Bioma, young Papa Anthony Kraka. Aye. Nti high table, Pacho, Ubetimi Abetrasi. High table. Pacho Momra, high table. Your chairman, directors, Pamcho. Mwetrasi Sima. Wakambro for tin. Yan papa ba ko be chim. Ba answer na yan papa e be chirechiremu kakra e wo ye akan kasa ni mu no. Ya transi ache. Nti ye be peja ye mu kakra be say 15 minutes. Na yakọ echire ho ye obibi kakra ye rebeka yano ti be srem panifo a eti ha se ye pagya mu kakra na yenkọ echire ho na ye pe bibi kan no ye wi a ni asa abetrase na yem papa aye twi translation no amai ansa na nsembusa no aba medamase. maame mpanimfoɔ no a wɔwɔ mu na wɔn ntumi nsɔre no mpakyɛ wɔn bɛtumi atena ase na yama obi ahwɛ mu mpanimfoɔ no a ɛwɔ mu no sɛ okotodwe ɛhawa na wɔntumi nsɔre ampakyɛ tena ase nneɛma yɛn fine girls no nsɛm mu.
Omanu Imanina, if your friend integrated business establishment survey, our friend IBES. You might be Minina, a baby, say, when you're a Jumu Imanina, who said this is Janae, number one, first one, and who couldn't be IBES. Hey, ain't you not just a Mechomba Kawana? I don't cry, a Juma Biara, say a Juma of Fasos, and I say any Juma of Fasos. Yes, so would you say, and yet so for Biana? And this is Sakra, Obekra is Sema, Obekwa, no, I would do Juma or Akuntapu. It was 70 years. So I am no cray. Ain't it bring a beshasi? No, me a day it's to me a boy. Such when you are a family of Fake Canobeshasi, October 2023, or first of Sunino, Ashasi 2024. Who would be the one she would deny and Sebe Fata, would be my Ejumaya Fua, or Babes Rawu Jumanis. What Jesus? Oh, yes, now my Juma, and your money costo. 2023 IBES. Data for prudent business decisions.
What is this I'm hearing about some economic census?
Yes, the Ghana Statistical Service is conducting a nationwide census of all businesses called the Integrated Business Establishment Survey, popularly known as IBES.
A census of businesses? What is that for?
Well, for businesses to grow, they will need data on all business activities for decision making to enhance their profitability.
Hey, so does it mean my top bar is part of this exercise?
Of course it is. All businesses, whether for profit or non-profit, are included.
Okay, but are you sure this is not another tax something?
Not at all. Data collected will be kept confidential and used solely for statistical purposes, so your individual information is well protected.
Really? So when is it starting and how can I help?
This exercise is in 2 phases. Phase 1 will begin in October 2023, whilst Phase 2 will begin in 2024. Help by giving the right information to the field staff who will be visiting your business.
Remember, support GSS to provide you with the right data for your business growth and national development.
2023 IBES, data for prudent business decisions.
Hey, Penny, can I make the first accountable?
Ghana Statistical Service, Omanu Imanina, if your friend integrated business establishment survey, our friend IBES.
And you might be a kind woman. Didn't know where you are.
You might be Minina, a baby, say, when you're a Jumu Imanina, who said this is Janae, number one, first one, and who couldn't be IBES.
Hey, ain't you not just a Mechomba Kawana?
I don't cry, a Juma Biara, say a Juma of Fasos, and I say any Juma of Fasos.
Yes, so would you say, and yet so for Biana?
And this is Sakra, Obekra is Sema, Obekwa, no, I would do Juma or Akuntapu. It was 70 years. So I
am no cray. Ain't it bring a beshasi? No, me a day it's to me a boy.
Such when you are a family of Fake Canobeshasi, October 2023, or first of Sunino, Ashasi 2024. Who would be the one she would deny and Sebe Fata, would be my Ejumaya Fua, or Babes Rawu Jumanis.
What Jesus? Oh, yes, now my Juma, and your money costo.
2023 IBES, data for prudent business decisions.
Hey, Opeyin, what is this I'm hearing about some economic census?
Yes, the Ghana Statistical Service is conducting a nationwide census of all businesses called the Integrated Business Establishment Survey, popularly known as IBES.
A census of businesses? What is that for?
Well, for businesses to grow, they will need data on all business activities for decision making to enhance their profitability.
Hey, so does it mean my top bar is part of this exercise?
Of course it is. All businesses, whether for profit or non-profit, are included.
Okay, but are you sure this is not another tax something?
Not at all. Data collected will be kept confidential and used solely for statistical purposes, so your individual information is well protected.
Really? So when is it starting and how can I help?
This exercise is in 2 phases. Phase 1 will begin in October 2023, whilst Phase 2 will begin in 2024. Help by giving the right information to the field staff who will be visiting your business.
Remember, support GSS to provide you with the right data for your business growth and national development.
2023 IBES, data for prudent business decisions.
Hey, opinion. Diana made the first Casemu accountable.
Ani, Ghana Statistical Service. Eka Omanu Inumanina. Your friend who integrated business establishment survey. Our friend IBES.
Ejumaya biahura ye be kan wo mu. Dint no mo yesa.
Senyuma betmenina. Ebe hia say wonya ejumemu inumanina ho se. Discipline aye na ma wo faso ene wo kuni di IBES.
Hey, enti no trust me chomba no kan ho ana.
Eno kre ejuma biara say ye ejuma
phobia na.
Enti sakra, obekra nsema obeboaboa no so na wodi edwuma e wo akontapo mu nko a. Enti ho sem no de ya po ho pan yi.
So eye no kre. Enti brebe na ebe sha ase. Na meye den etumi aboa.
Sa dwuma di wo afamienu ofe di kan no be sha ase October 2023 na ofe to so mienu no a sha ase 2024. Obetimi de ho ahye mu de nam nsema e fata wo de bema edwumayefo a obeba be sra wo edwuma no so.
Kai, what GSS? Mon show ni SSA we. Na ma we dwuma any on money koso aye.
2023 IBES data for prudent business decisions.
Hey, Opinion, what is this I'm hearing about some economic census?
Yes, the Ghana Statistical Service is conducting a nationwide census of all businesses called the Integrated Business Establishment Survey, popularly known as IBES.
A census of businesses? What is that for?
Well, for businesses to grow, they will need data on all business activities for decision-making to enhance their profitability.
Hey, so does it mean my top bar is part of this exercise?
Of course it is. All businesses, whether for profit or non-profit, are included.
Okay, but are you sure this is not another tax something?
Not at all. Data collected will be kept confidential and used solely for statistical purposes, so your individual information is well protected.
Really? So when is it starting and how can I help?
This exercise is in 2 phases. Phase 1 will begin in October 2023, whilst Phase 2 will begin in 2024. Help by giving the right information to the field staff who will be visiting your business.
Remember, support GSS to provide you with the right data for your business growth and national development. 2023 IBES, data for prudent business decisions.
Hey, opinion. Diana made the first Casemu accountable.
Ani, Ghana Statistical Service. Eka Omanu Inumanina. Your friend who integrated business establishment survey. Our friend IBES.
Ejumaya biahura ye be kan wo mu. Dint no mo yesa.
Senyuma betmenina. Ebe hia say wonya ejumemu inumanina ho nsem. Discipline aye na ma wo faso ene wo kunim di IBES.
Hey, enti no trust me chomba no kan ho ana.
Eno kre ejuma biara say ye ejuma mfaso so ana say enye ejuma mfaso so.
So who did this say and yet so phobia na?
Enti sakra, obekra nsema obeboaboa no so na wodi edwuma e wo akontapo mu nko a. Enti ho nsem no de ya po ho pan yi.
So eye no kre. Enti brebe na ebe sha ase. Na meye den etumi aboa.
Sa dwuma di wo afamienu ofe di kan no be sha ase October 2023 na ofe to so mienu no a sha ase 2024. Obetimi de ho ahye mu de nam nsema e fata wo de bema edwumayefo a obeba be sra wo edwuma no so.
Kai, what GSS? Mon show ni SSA we. Na ma we dwuma any on money koso aye.
2023 IBES data for prudent business decisions.
Hey, Opinion, what is this I'm hearing about some economic census?
Yes, the Ghana Statistical Service is conducting a nationwide census of all businesses called the Integrated Business Establishment Survey, popularly known as IBES.
A census of businesses? What is that for?
Well, for businesses to grow, they will need data on all business activities for decision-making to enhance their profitability.
Hey, so does it mean my top bar is part of this exercise?
Of course it is. All businesses, whether for profit or non-profit, are included.
Okay, but are you sure this is not another tax something?
Not at all. Data collected will be kept confidential and used solely for statistical purposes, so your individual information is well protected.
Really? So when is it starting and how can I help?
This exercise is in 2 phases. Phase 1 will begin in October 2023, whilst Phase 2 will begin in 2024. Help by giving the right information to the field staff who will be visiting your business.
Remember, support GSS to provide you with the right data for your business growth and national development. 2023 IBES, data for prudent business decisions.
Hey, Openny, Diana made the Fasika Semu Akontavoy.
Ani, Ghana Statistical Service, Eka Omanumu Inumanina, a friend of Integrated Business Establishment Survey, our friend of IBES.
Ejumaya Biahora Yebe Kaimomu, Dint no Moyesa.
Senuma Bitminina, Ebe Hiase, when ya Ejumemu Inumanina Hunsem, this is Jinae, Nama one fast walk, anyone couldn't be IKC.
Hey, ain't you not sure some Metroba no Kanwana?
Eno crack, Ejuma Biara, say Ejuma and Fasoso, and I say any Ejuma and Fasoso.
Eh, yeah, so would you say, and yet so for Biana?
And Tisakra, Omekra in Sema, Omebuano, so now what did Juma, or Akunta Pumukua, into whom Semnody, Yapo Pani.
So, I no cray, ain't you breben a beshase? Na may a day it to me a bois.
Sajumadi were a famine of Fedi Kano Beshasi, October 2023, no fair Tosumino, Ashasi 2024. Ubit me the one Shimudenam and Seme Fata, would the Bema Ejumaya Fua, Obeba Besra with Jumanus.
Kai, what GSS, Moncho, yes, away. Nama Juma, and your money costo, aye,
2023 IBES, data for prudent business decisions.
Hey, Opinion, what is this I'm hearing about some economic census?
Yes, the Ghana Statistical Service is conducting a nationwide census of all businesses called the Integrated Business Establishment Survey, popularly known as IBES.
A census of businesses? What is that for?
Well, for businesses to grow, they will need data on all business activities for decision making to enhance their profitability.
Hey, so does it mean my top bar is part of this exercise?
Of course it is. All businesses, whether for profit or non-profit, are included.
Okay, but are you sure this is not another tax something?
Not at all. Data collected will be kept confidential and used solely for statistical purposes, so your individual information is well protected.
Really? So when is it starting and how can I help?
This exercise is in 2 phases. Phase 1 will begin in October 2023, whilst Phase 2 will begin in 2024. Help by giving the right information to the field staff who will be visiting your business.
Remember, support GSS to provide you with the right data for your business growth and national development. 2023 IBES, data for prudent business decisions.
Hey, Openny, Diana made the Fasika Semu Akontavoy.
Ani, Ghana Statistical Service, Eka Omanumu Inumanina, a friend of Integrated Business Establishment Survey, our friend of IBES.
Ejumaya Biahora Yebe Kaimomu, Dint no Moyesa.
Senuma Bitminina, Ebe Hiase, when ya Ejumemu Inumanina Hunsem, this is Jinae, Nama one fast walk, anyone couldn't be IKC.
Hey, ain't you not sure some Metroba no Kanwana?
Eno crack, Ejuma Biara, say Ejuma and Fasoso, and I say any Ejuma and Fasoso.
Eh, yeah, so would you say, and yet so for Biana?
And Tisakra, Omekra in Sema, Omebuano, so now what did Juma, or Akunta Pumukua, into whom Semnody, Yapo Pani.
So, I no cray, ain't you breben a beshase? Na may a day it to me a bois.
Sajumadi were a famine of Fedi Kano Beshasi, October 2023, no fair Tosumino, Ashasi 2024. Ubit me the one Shimudenam and Seme Fata, would the Bema Ejumaya Fua, Obeba Besra with Jumanus.
Kai, what GSS, Moncho, yes, away. Nama Juma, and your money costo, aye,
2023 IBES, data for prudent business decisions.
Hey, Opinion, what is this I'm hearing about some economic census?
Yes, the Ghana Statistical Service is conducting a nationwide census of all businesses called the Integrated Business Establishment Survey, popularly known as IBES.
A census of businesses? What is that for?
Well, for businesses to grow, they will need data on all business activities for decision making to enhance their profitability.
Hey, so does it mean my top bar is part of this exercise?
Of course it is. All businesses, whether for profit or non-profit, are included.
Okay, but are you sure this is not another tax something?
Not at all. Data collected will be kept confidential and used solely for statistical purposes, so your individual information is well protected.
Really? So when is it starting and how can I help?
This exercise is in 2 phases. Phase 1 will begin in October 2023, whilst Phase 2 will begin in 2024. Help by giving the right information to the field staff who will be visiting your business.
Remember, support GSS to provide you with the right data for your business growth and national development. 2023 IBES, data for prudent business decisions.
Hey, Hey, Openyi, Diana made the Fasika Semu Akontavoyi.
Ani, Ghana Statistical Service, Eka Omanumu Inumanina, a friend of Integrated Business Establishment Survey, our friend of IBES.
Ejumaye Biahora Yebe Kaimomu, Dint no Moyesa.
Senuma Betmenina, Ebe Hiase, when ya Ejumemu Inumanina Hunsem, this is Jinae, Nama one fast walk, anyone couldn't be IKC.
Hey, ain't you not sure some Mechoba no Kanwana?
Eno crack, Ejuma Biara, say Ejuma and Fasoso, and I say any Ejuma and Fasoso.
Eh, yeah, so would you say, and yet so for Biana?
And Tisakra, Omekra in Sema, Omebuano, so now what did Juma, or Akunta Pumukua, into whom Semnody, Yapo Pani.
So, I no cray, ain't he breben a beshase? Na may a day it to me a bois.
Sajumadi or Afamino, or Fedi Cano Beshasi, October 2023, no fair Tosumino, Ashasi 2024. Ubet me the one Shimudenam and Seme Fata, would the Bema Ejumaya Fua, Obeba Besra with Jumanus.
Kai, what GSS, Moncho, necessary, Nama Juma, and your money costo, aye,
2023 IBES, data for prudent business decisions.
Hey, Openyin, what is this I'm hearing about some economic census?
Yes, the Ghana Statistical Service is conducting a nationwide census of all businesses called the Integrated Business Establishment Survey, popularly known as IBES.
A census of businesses? What is that for?
Well, for businesses to grow, they will need data on all business activities for decision making to enhance their profitability.
Hey, so does it mean my top bar is part of this exercise?
Of course it is. All businesses, whether for profit or non-profit, are included.
Okay, but are you sure this is not another tax something?
Not at all. Data collected will be kept confidential and used solely for statistical purposes, so your individual information is well protected.
Really? So when is it starting and how can I help?
This exercise is in 2 phases. Phase 1 will begin in October 2023, whilst Phase 2 will begin in 2024. Help by giving the right information to the field staff who will be visiting your business.
Remember, support GSS to provide you with the right data for your business growth and national development. 2023 IBES, data for prudent business decisions.
Hey, Openyi, Diana made the Fasika Semu Akontavoyi.
Ani, Ghana Statistical Service, Eka Omanumu Inumanina, a friend of Integrated Business Establishment Survey, our friend of IBES.
Ejumaye Biahora Yebe Kaimomu, Dint no Moyesa.
Senuma Betmenina, Ebe Hiase, when ya Ejumemu Inumanina Hunsem, this is Jinae, Nama one fast walk, anyone couldn't be IKC.
Hey, ain't you not sure some Mechoba no Kanwana?
Eno crack, Ejuma Biara, say Ejuma and Fasoso, and I say any Ejuma and Fasoso.
Eh, yeah, so would you say, and yet so for Biana?
And Tisakra, Omekra in Sema, Omebuano, so now what did Juma, or Akunta Pumukua, into whom Semnody, Yapo Pani.
So, I no cray, ain't he breben a beshase? Na may a day it to me a bois.
Sajumadi or Afamino, or Fedi Cano Beshasi, October 2023, no fair Tosumino, Ashasi 2024. Ubet me the one Shimudenam and Seme Fata, would the Bema Ejumaya Fua, Obeba Besra with Jumanus.
Kai, what GSS, Moncho, necessary, Nama Juma, and your money costo, aye,
2023 IBES, data for prudent business decisions.
Hey, Openyin, what is this I'm hearing about some economic census?
Yes, the Ghana Statistical Service is conducting a nationwide census of all businesses called the Integrated Business Establishment Survey, popularly known as IBES.
A census of businesses? What is that for?
Well, for businesses to grow, they will need data on all business activities for decision making to enhance their profitability.
Hey, so does it mean my top bar is part of this exercise?
Of course it is. All businesses, whether for profit or non-profit, are included.
Okay, but are you sure this is not another tax something?
Not at all. Data collected will be kept confidential and used solely for statistical purposes, so your individual information is well protected.
Really? So when is it starting and how can I help?
This exercise is in 2 phases. Phase 1 will begin in October 2023, whilst Phase 2 will begin in 2024. Help by giving the right information to the field staff who will be visiting your business.
Remember, support GSS to provide you with the right data for your business growth and national development. 2023 IBES, data for prudent business decisions.
Hey, Hey, Openyi, Diana made the Fasika Semu Akontavoyi.
Ani, Ghana Statistical Service, Eka Omanumu Inumanina, a friend of Integrated Business Establishment Survey, our friend of IBES.
Ejumaye Biahora Yebe Kaimomu, Dint no Moyesa.
Senyuma Betmenina, Ebe Hiase, when ya Ejumemu Inumanina Hunsem, Disijinae, Nama one Faswo, anyone couldn't be Ayakesi.
Hey, ain't you not sure some Mechoba no Kanwana?
Eno crack, Ejuma Biara, say Ejuma and Faswoso, and I say any Ejuma and Faswoso.
Eh, yeah, so would you say, and yet so for Biana?
And Tisakra, Omekra in Sema, Omebuano, so now what did Juma, or Akunta Pumukua, into whom Semnody, Yapo Pani.
So, I no cray, ain't you breben a beshase? Na may a day it to me a bois.
Sajumadi or Afamino, or Fedi Kano Beshasi, October 2023, nor Fair Tosumino, Ashasi 2024. Ubit me the one Shimudenam and Seme Fata, would the Bema Ejumaya Fua, Obeba Besra with Jumanes.
Kai, what GSS, Moncho, yes, away. Nama Juma, and your money costo, aye, 2023 IBES. Data for prudent business decisions.
Hey, Openyin, what is this I'm hearing about some economic census?
Yes, the Ghana Statistical Service is conducting a nationwide census of all businesses called the Integrated Business Establishment Survey, popularly known as IBES.
A census of businesses? What is that for?
Well, for businesses to grow, they will need data on all business activities for decision making to enhance their profitability.
Hey, so does it mean my top bar is part of this exercise?
Of course it is. All businesses, whether for profit or non-profit, are included.
Okay, but are you sure this?
Those outside, kindly take your seats and let's continue with the program. Kindly reach out to those outside to come inside. Team members, Alfred Chachu, Samuel Dakon, kindly step out and bring them inside. Okay, so we welcome you back from the snack. And the project coordinator did his presentation in English. We have in our midst the director of regional offices in the person of Mr. Emmanuel Osei. I call him Daddy. And so he's going to do the translation for us, what Mr. Kaka has done. He's going to summarize it for us, probably in the next 10 minutes. So let's welcome Mr. Emmanuel Osei. Thank you.
Kwaku medase me mamu nyina achi ya jimi ahine wa medwumadie ne se mebo nia openya oda IBES ano eka ye mebo ne tofa enti mritiawa bi mu no na ye de nsemmisa ato aso wo sha ase no omaye hu empendodo a dwumadi yedi ewo oman yi mu na ode yefi verse be ekono te mfie oha kakre ni no yaye no emprennan ene se afiapem ahankron adusia mienu ye baako na edi kankra na eno no ye no eye womo a womdi infidie edane enema eni ye kan industries no so omudi infidie nam infidie so na enioma bi a ye di kan aye no mo di adane ani no omo eho de ene ye na omo so a omo enam akwan bi so e distribute anase omo chiche eniema no edi mayen that sectors mienu because say we fa economy na ye wo womo ye kuya which is the agri sector
omu ede mfidie edane nneoma which is industry and omu so omu boa ema saa dwumadie yi nyina ekoso which is the services sector. Na netoso mienu no ye no afiapem ahankron ediowotwe enso 1987 na ehon so no industry omo de mfidie edane nneoma nani no omo nko ana ye de anisi omo so a ye na ye ba biom no afe empinu ani du miensa eno ye hwe sectors miensa ni nyina nanso baby fa kakra bi ankrankra ndwuma ye no wo fidua mu no eno omo yi fi mu bro ni be kan say household businesses no was excluded nti omo yi sa dwumadie no efi mu na ne etoso 9 no afidie a ye no moti ye bo ho daru e de akere mu no na eno no okan say eno de ye be ye e de afra obi biara a owo dwumadie bi di e wo man yi mu enti say wote dwom na ebi a obi store anim wakosie wu tomatoes anase wo nyadoa anase atosodie bi wo ho a wo ton no wo mu nyina sese no ye de wo mu nyina ebeka mu ankrankra dwumadi a wa fiafie mu ne ne keka wo di nyina no ye de ni nyina ebeka ho na ya ahwe saa dwumadie yi ho enti saa dwumadie anase enyuma akenkan a eba so yi no saa ene ebeko no enti eno omayete eno asesa na omayehu say emri a atwam ye wo beka ne say data ye wo in seminar ye je edifi dwumadie for no ho no ye wo eho ensem ewo ho a emma yehu dia akọ ebribi atwam na say no so etesen we sawo hwe dwumadi a yedi ye na de ni twato okra ye na afi empinu ni dumiensa ni mu a se efie dumu ani ene ewe enti nipa so de se wote ho a ye ditum se wo kona na se enfie ne kwa anim no na ensakraye eba wasetena mu eno nti sei no ye dwuma sem ewo man yi mu no sei ena hu dwumadie esitie na se yetumi ye sa dwuma ya ebeboa ye ama ye hu senia ye tebia na se ye gina bia ewo oman yi mu edefa ye ndwuma ahodro ho se ye dwuma ketwa se ye dwuma kese se ye hone ho se ye adantem ni nyina esese ye hu ni nyina na yetumi aye nhihye pa ede aboa ama dwumadie no akoso ogosu okoso ma ye ehu bribi se ye dwumadie na ye di no eto da bia wo behu no na enkrofo fi amanone enso abaha abe ehihye enyuma a omde boa oman no na omayete ase se wo oman mu na se nipa fi amanone anase wo mo nye ganafo emo na abe sisi enyuma ewo ha no mo ya enhyeda emmo ayiye nti we saa dwumadie yi ebema yahu ganafo a omo ankasa ahyehye wo munyuma a omo ye ene wo mo so omo fi amanone a omaba oman yi mu aba be hyehye enyuma ama omo ye okan ede to aso okra se ye wo omo fi amanone naba aba hyehye enyuma no edo so kyen ya nya obehu ni se omo ya sika ni nyina na omo asan ede kọ omukrom omo mfa ntena ha na omo de kọ omukrom nanso se eye ganani ene wa hyehye adwuma no ene wa ya obehu se sika obenya no ebetena ha na wasan afuntum mu na ode adane ani asan de aye bibi foforo ebio ede amaye eno nti eno nso bema ye hu fa ne se nationality womo a omo ye ganafo a omo wonwuma ne womo a womo ye ganafo a womo wonwuma no hefo na dọọso na eno nso betumi agina so ama aban anaso oman no aye nhihye pa ede aboa dwumadi a ekoso ikra osan ema ye hu osan ma ye hu butai potia na saa dwumadi eye IBES anase enyuma kan ya ye ba be ye no ekoso na ni titire pa ne se ɛbɛboa yɛn ama yɛhu sɛnea yɛdwumadie ɛwɔ man yi mu no ɛkɔ sɛ fa no ku adwuma ɛkɔ yie anaa ɛnkɔ yie ɛdɛn hyehyɛ na aban betumi ayɛ anaasɛ ɔman no betumi ayɛ ɛde aboa anaasɛ mpɔtɛm po anaasɛ wo wankasa po a woyɛ wɔ adwuma no nsɛm a yɛbɛbisa no ne yɛbɛbɔ ne tɔfa ne yɛde abɛto ɔman anim ɛbɛma woahu sɛ me dwumadi a medi medane ne sei a ɛbɛboa me mede fa ha ɛbɛboa me anaasɛ bi a baabi a mewɔ mpo a meyɛ adwuma no sɛ mede kɔ baabi foforɔ a ɛhɔ no ɛbɛboa me sen baabi a mewɔ yi anaasɛ sɛ mɛkɔ akɔte bi mɛkɔ akɔsi adwuma no foforɔ ɛwɔ baabi ɛde aboa so a ɛno nso ɛbɛtumi aboa ɛno nti ne titire paa ne sɛ yɛpɛ sɛ yɛhu baabi a yɛgyina berɛ ɛwɔ yɛn nnwumasɛm mu ɛsiteɛ ɛwɔ ɔman yi mu na yɛhu ɛno a na ɔman no atumi agyina so na yɛayɛ nhyehyɛeɛ foforɔ so ɛde aboa sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ a because wohu sɛnea ɛsiti a ɛna wotumi ɛdane ani na wohu sɛnea wobɛyɛ no afa da biara meka sɛ wote fie na yɛ maame no mu wokɔdwo mu po a ɛsɛ sɛ ohu nipa dodo a ɔba bɛyɛ aduane no ɛde ama wɔn na wagyina so ɛde atotɔ nneɛma a onim sɛ mebɛyɛ aduane ɛde ama nipa nnum ɛsiane sɛ wontumi nkɔdwom na wonkɔtɔ nneɛma ɛmfa ma nipa mmienu wɔ mmerɛko a wonim sɛ wokɔyɛ aduane ɛde ama nipa nnum ɛna wontumi nkɔtɔ nneɛma so a wonim sɛ nipa mmienu ɛna wode bɛyɛ aduane ɛde ama wɔn na wakɔtɔ nipa nnum nneɛma ada sɛ ɛbɛgu hɔ no asɛe anaasɛ ɛsiane sɛ woantumi anyɛ nhyehyɛ pa no wansese na woanhu nti no wontumi ɛmma nipa no aduane ɛma wɔn mmee ɛno nti saa dwumadie yi ɛbɛboa yɛn ama yɛatumi asese ne yɛhu yɛdinaberɛ saa berɛ yi a yɛwɔ mu yi na afei nhyehyɛ pa bɛn so ne yɛbɛtumi ayɛ de aboa ɛde ama daama ɔma yɛhu nneɛma a sɛ mmere bi a ɛtwa mu no sɛ IBES a yɛyɛ yɛtwa toɔ no ɛne saa IBES foforɔ a yɛbɛyɛ afe yi mu no ɛdeɛn nsusune bɛn ɛna ɛda ntem na ɔma yɛhu sɛ nea ɛwɔ hɔ ne sɛ wei deɛ yɛyɛ ɛde afa obiara ɔyɛ adwuma sɛ wotɔn ice water wonam kurom na wotɔn ice water yɛwɔ nhyehyɛe wɔ hɔ a yɛbɛyɛ na yɛde akan wɔ mu bekae sɛ yɛbɛkan nipa no ɛbɛyɛ mfie mmienu ni wɔn sɛ na mo sɛ mo kan obiara wɔ ɔman yi mu na sɛbe wɔn a wɔn adwene mu ɛnyɛ yi no so mo bɛyɛ dɛn de aka ho yɛn ɛna yɛ adwuma te sɛ nea wokɔ dwom a wonim kwan a wofa so a obi ba dwom hɔ pa a wokye no ɛde ba wo nkyɛn no yɛn nso yɛatete yɛn ama yɛhu yɛwɔ kwan a yɛbɛfa so ɛde aboa na saa dwumadie nyinaa akɔ no pɛpɛɛpɛ nti wɔn a wɔn nam kwan mu wɔn ɛtɔn ice water ne nea ɛkeka ho ɔkan yɛ koraa kan sɛ ice cream for no more popping no wɔn nyinaa yɛwɔ nhyehyɛe ɛde yɛayɛ nhyehyɛe ɛde ato hɔ a yɛbɛfa so ɛde akan wɔn nyinaa ansana wɔn a wɔn nnwuma no so ɛwɔ dan mu adan mu a yɛfka sɛ factories anaasɛ offices ne nea ɛkeka ho no ɛno nso yɛwɔ nhyehyɛe wɔ hɔ a yɛde bɛkɔ wɔn so na yɛde akɔkan wɔn nyinaa ɛno nti wei deɛ yɛnyi ɛsɛmasi anaa ɔbɛnten mfim sɛ wɔyɛ adwuma nko ara deɛ a yɛne wɔ ɛbɛdi nsawɔsoɔ na yɛtumi ne wɔ adi nkutahodie na yɛhu kwan a yɛbɛfa so nti ebinom sɛ fitafoɔ nsɔre mpo wɔkan sɛ akɔmfoɔ ne wɔn a wɔyɛ nyankomade ne ɛkeka ho nyinaa no yɛbɛfa wɔn de aka ho na afei nso no yɛtumi ahu nti schools ahodoɔ yɛbɛkɔ hɔ ayareshwɛ anaasɛ ayaresabea yɛbɛkɔ hɔ ɛna ndwumadie ahodoɔ a ɛwɔ afiafie mu nso no anaasɛ fidua mu nso no yɛbɛkɔ hɔ na mpo wɔn a wɔn nam abɛɛfo yɛka no online sɛ bi a wote hɔ a sɛ wowɔ ha wobɛhu na wo phone ne asend wo message bi sɛ metɔn wei wɔn nyinaa no yɛne wɔn ɛbɛdi nsawɔsoɔ na yɛtumi ne wɔn agye nsɛm a ehia yɛn no de aboa de afi wɔn hɔ na ɔma yɛhu nneɛma bi a sɛ yɛ dwumadie ne ba so a yɛbɛbisa ɔma yɛhu sɛ yɛbɛbisa biribi de fa dwumadie no ho ebi asɛ yɛpɛ sɛ yɛ ne wodi nkitaho akyire yi a ɛkwan bɛn so ne ɛwɔ baabi a dwumadie nankasa nso ɛwɔ sɛ ebi a woyɛ dwumadie ne nkorabata bi a wo head office anaasɛ adwumapɔn no ɛhefa na ɛwɔ because ɛnyɛ nnwumapɔn nnwuma nyinaa na wɔn tiri no ɛwɔ nkran nti ɛsɛ sɛ yɛhu baabi a ne nyinaa wɔ na adwuma pɔtee bɛn koraa ɛna moyɛ which is the principal activities ɛmuna sɛ ne adwuma pɔtee bɛn na moyɛ anaasɛ mo san wɔ bibi pɔtee adwuma pɔtee a moyɛ no mo san wɔ bibi foforɔ a mo san yɛ ɛwɔ hɔ bio ɛka no the principal and the sub activities ɛna yɛbɛgye employment data so afi hɔ wɔ establishment records ɛde fa osikasɛm nneɛma kakra bi hɔ no ɛno nso yɛbɛbisabisa mo ɛho nneɛma ɛna identification of green and conventional firms say no nea yɛka ɛwɔ wiase nyinaa ne sɛ yɛhunu sɛ yɛwiase no nneɛma ɛsesa ɛde fa ɔbɔ adeɛ ɛbɔbrɛ ho environmental issues enti no yɛhwɛ nea wɔma ɔbɔ adeɛ bɔbrɛ sɛ ne yɛsitiɛ no ne ndwuma no ɛboa ma ne kɔ so ebinom wɔ hɔ a wohu sɛ wɔwie ɔyɛ n'adwuma no a wobɛhunu na pipe bi na ɔde ato gata bi mu na ɛno ara ne sɛ industrial waste no anaasɛ nneɛma a ɔmo mpɛ efi adwuma no mu no bomu ane sɛ akɔgugu ɔtani mu but obi so wɔ hɔ a wobɛkɔ no wɔde nhyehyɛeɛ ato hɔ a saa nneɛma no koraa no wonhu nti ne nyinaa no yɛbɛbisa ɛho nsɛm ɛna sesei so no abɛɛfo yɛnam abɛɛfo kwan so etumi ɛtɔ adeɛ etuaka ne nea ɛkeka ho digital financing ne nyinaa yɛbɛbisa nsɛm kakra ɛwɔ ho ɛna afei nso no yɛsikasɛm na di kan yɛno nso yɛ turnover anaasɛ sika a yɛnya ɛwɔ yɛ dwuma no mu no ɛbɛboa yɛn anaasɛ yɛno nso yɛbɛgye na aboa yɛn ɛma yɛtumi ɛde adi saa dwuma no ɔkɔso ɛma yɛte aseɛ sɛ nti saa dwumadie yi a yɛba abɛdi no ɛdeɛ nkoraa mfasoɔ bɛyi ɛne yɛbɛnya wɔ ho mfasoɔ bɛyi ɛne yɛbɛnya wɔ ho ɔdi kan yɛ sɛ ɛma yɛhu sɛ yɛgyegye nsɛm no efi hɔ a ɛma yɛhu te sɛ na mede kan yɛ no bi wɔ hɔ a sɛ wopɛ sɛ wokɔ si anaasɛ wokɔ hyehyɛ dwumadie foforɔ bi ɛwɔ baabi a brɔfo mu yɛka ne sɛ feasibility studies wokɔ ɛkɔyɛ ɛkɔbisabisa nsɛm kakra me dwuma yi a mepɛ sɛ mede ba ha yi ɛkwan bɛn so na ɛbɛtumi aboa nkurɔfoɔ no ɔmo wɔ hɔ no anaa sɛ mede kɔsi hɔ a ɔmo bɛboa me ama m'adwuma no akɔ so nneɛma a mehia sɛ mede bɛyɛ adwuma no mɛtumi anya afiri saa mpɔtam hɔ no ne nyinaa no dwumadie yi a yɛba bɛdi no ɛbɛma yɛn nimdeɛ na yɛde ato nkrataa so na ɛtumi aboa ama wɔn nso sɛ wopɛ sɛ wo ebi a wowɔ adwuma ɛwɔ Kumase ha but wopɛ sɛ wokɔ nyinahi na wokɔ bie foforɔ wɔ hɔ a nhyehyɛeɛ bɛn na wobɛyɛ de ato kwan mu saa data a yɛagyi ɛbɛtumi aboa wo ama woahu na sɛ ebi a wo feasibility studies a wopɛ sɛ woyɛ no ɛno koraa no wobɛtumi agya ato hɔ na saa sika no wode ahyɛ baabi foforɔ na woatumi de ayɛ ebi nso enwuma ni bi wɔ hɔ a yɛkɔ yi nyinaa no ne yɛfo koko yɛsane ɛkɔ fam na ɛba soro ne nyinaa mu no betumi data yɛbɛgye no ɛbɛboa ama saa nneɛma yi nyinaa atumi akɔ so de aboa yɛn ɔsan ɛma yɛhu sɛ ɛbɛboa yɛn yɛ ɔman yi mu sɛnea yɛ dwumadie siti yɛka no GDP na sɛ gross domestic product no ɛbɛboa yɛn papaapa ama yɛhu nhyehyɛeɛ a yɛbɛtumi ayɛ na yɛtumi de aboa sɛ nneɛma ɛkɔ yie anaasɛ nneɛma nkɔ yie no ɛno bɛtumi aboa yɛn ankorankora a wɔyɛ wɔn ndwuma wɔde mfidie ɛdane nneɛma yi ka sɛ production process now of the indices no PPI producer price index eya omo edi infidie edane nneoma ani mani be ya bibi foforo no eno nso ebetumi aboa ama omo nso omo dwumadie no etumi akoso na omaye hu se saa dwumadie no ya sha ase aye ho nhyehyeye ne ekeka ho deda na fiti bosumi an yewom ya no ekosi bosumi enkron no mu no ye beye enkyekere kakra edi ama womo a womo bekwa akodi dwuma no ye be to nipa egu abonten omo beba afie mu omo beba enwuma mu abibisa musa ensem ya ye kan nyina na ye beye enkyekere kakra edi ama wom na afie no nyame ya dom ne yetinkwam a bosumi du numu no na fi ye wurawura afie mu na ye fi ase ebisa ensem no na okoso ekan ye se enkosi se afe a ye bewura mu bio no ne bosumi miensa edikan no ye betumi ede ho ensunsanso abeto oman anim eye reports ye de beba beto oman anim na fi ho no na yeguso a produce reports no saa ediko na eden kra na ye hwehwe enti ane ye gina hei anase ya behia wa hei na sem a ode to ho pa ede ma ye ne se ye beje wo mo beba abe bisa ye nsem no ye beje wo mo feso na ensem biara nso a omo bebisa ye no ye di no kredie ebe ma won esane se ya ni no kre amfa nkyere won ne ye ma won bibi biara bibisa wasem na wo mami mu aye bia eno na metro na eno nso wo de mayen ya emmoa oman no enunti ye hwese ye dwuma ye fo no eba mo ne wo mo ebedi nkuta ho papa na nia ehia nia ese ansa anase muaya esese esene fata medase esene fata no odi amawo esane se saa dwumadie yi a yedi to de bi ne ye co businesses ne ankrankra nyuma hoko bisa wo msema o mo beji na mo di akoye mo di beji ye to ne ne keka ho ye nye tojefo se eba no de to di a Ghana Revenue Authority for wo kwa o mo di saa dwuma no e de ma oman no ye de ne se ye nhwehwemu na saa nhwehwemu ye yikura no se ye de report no etu dwa ye nkase ye call esomesi ho no se ne ye hu no anase ye call esomesi ho no se ne ye hu no disaggregated data no ye na mo ye kan nyina bom na ye de atu dwa se ye call ye no wo mo ye saa adwuma saa na tie nie enti ye nyi esomesi a no bentin emma out and I say free moon can say oh we dey say ena na adwuma sitie esane say emra emma ye ho kwan sa say ye ne sa na obi di ye kokota yetumi di for enunti o say ye bose ensemo a ye bebisa na emuaya ye de be ma no eye kokoamu asem broni beka confidential. It's an say yeah, if you Ghana Statistical Service nano. Ye din say e wo court. Say, dwumadie bia ye be di say ye ko bisa obi ho asem. Na ye de beba betu dwa na say ekopie abonten say akwasi manu ye call no ho no say ni na ti a ye tomra. Eno nti obi bi ni ho a obedi saa e na nkrofo no so a omo beba na omo ni mo abedi saa nkita hodie no omo so judge ene wo mu edinse na omo asan krata ansa na yeja wo mu kwan ma omo aba abonten abedi sa adwuma no eno nti nya ye pese ye ka kire mu a ne se mumwayen na munye derubofo emfa mayen munye ensianamufo emfa mayen esan se omanyimu yentumi nkọ ba bia na ye nyamo a na ye nya ade esan se ye gidi se mo na se ye fam so a mo betumi aboa yen ama bibia akoyiye edi ama yen owo omanyimu Medamasia Ahinewa.
Money me buy adwin say yes embo mu biem ama no. Waya de pa na no so ache. Papa no. So say that's it. That's a pa. Yo. Ebi a dru die insembusa. Nti yebema akasan yeah. Nti yebema emranche na omo ejina echiro no aboan ba konfa ba kunjina ha na ba konfa ba kunjina ha. Nti afi yatuma mo Martin nsɛm no bia ne akyire wadwen ana se wopɛse woka bibi na ɛboa yɛadwuma no nso a wowɔ ho kwan. The questions and answers. Okay. Yɛbɛfa first 5 na mpanyinfoɔ ayi ano yɛwie ana yɛsan akɔ rounds biom. Ɛdam ase.
Damasi. Bacho your friend Frank Edu. Bacho adeɛ mmienu na mpɛ sɛ mebusa sɛ ɛdamase deɛ di nkan ɛdamase wɔ nkyerɛkyerɛ a mode ama yɛ na yɛnim sɛ ɛba dwumadie ne yɛboa na mo so moboa a ɛbɛboa yɛ nyinaa. Bacho adeɛ a mebusa ne sɛ mo se moba nkɔfo aba yɛ nkyɛn yɛmoba a yɛmfa information bi ama wɔ mo yɛdamase. Na mesrɛ sɛ yɛbɛnya namba bi a obi ba yɛ nkyɛn a yɛbɛtumi afrɛ hunu sɛ ampa ofiri mu office ampa, because atadeɛ ne card na woka ne deɛ Ghana ne ɛwɔ no. Mepakyɛw deɛ ɛtɔ so biom sɛ Nyankopɔn yɛ adom no yɛde information ne ma a sɛdeɛ moka sɛ ebia information ɛbɛboa yɛn sɛ mepɛ sɛ mekɔ bie adwuma wɔ baabi a menya hɔ nsɛm no a bɛtumi ahu deɛ anamo asi bi tu ansa na makɔ hɔ. Na mebusa sɛ ɛberɛ bɛn so na sɛ yɛfiri ha a yɛmu bi bɛtumi aba mo nkyɛn abɛgye saa nsɛm no. Ɛdam ase.
Ɛda ase. Come no, hello. Okay, go ahead.
Yo, my this Papers Association, your family yawo pare. Vice chairman. Mr. Ebisa say nanka maazi ayewoyi. Maazi ayewoyi nanka mo ba nanka mbetime sie so. Nanka ye aboa mo. Nanka ya fa nipa no so. Nanso se mo adwuma mo ye se yetua mo ka. Nanka nipa mbesi yeso yi. Nanka mo so mapa bi kakra bre. Na yeso ye de aye twoponi. Na ya aboa mo ana ya ma information wo maazi ho. Ya pe hon so de ma information say asamasi ne obeti say ba enti sadai ye be kai mo na ya tworo mu din na ya bisa mo nsem wo mo dwuma sem no nso aya we ni nyina ye sika ono so ye be nden.
Yeah, that's it. Come here. Yeah.
Yo.
But you we are na yaba so ai.
Mr. Frame Bishop Ajay Harrison, GPCC. Mi pese mbisa se mabobo nnwuma horo a mo pese mo twere na boutique statistics about it. Na ye won krofo bi wo ho a ba ko ye mo fa se fem pa kwese mi be wada. Wono memene da na ogina yi ase. Ene mrane de on besa mo pa. Wono ne de ne ye memene da ayi aba no. No was samrane no agene kakrawa. Ebi so ye asi wheeling contractors. Omo so de say memene da na ya han omo na che say omo so abisu ama. Omo so no eye adwuma na. Ti pese mi hwe no.
Yo. Yeah, that's it. Ebacho.
Okay. Ebacho.
Yo, come here. Edamase. Hello. Bacho.
Yefremi Mamuda Osman. Adesrediere kakra na mepese me desre wo mu a ewo ha. Baby a meye adwuma nti meye adwuma wo Ministry of Trade and Industry. Nti kakra na me de kan the statistics for no aka no ho. Etoda eya na timamufo ka se ye ya ade we bi wo Ghana. Ade na aban stop importation. Why is government not banning importation on a particular product or a particular commodity? Sa niema we nyina sa ban betumi aye aya data ABIS intos ye Ghana be ye nim entos do Ghana nti wo be ye dey aka say o ba ne de free abonten aba de na ye dey stress say mumye nyina ye mmoa na dwumadie we enye enkunimdie. Me suggestion na me question is say, is there a way the last time I say 2013 till now 10-year period in between the data is a bit outmoded. Is there a way yeah 2023 we can have some kind of automated update, maybe a link department or other you register your company, there's a pop-up somewhere that updates IBES database.
Thank you, Mr. Osman. But for last person, we are now another round.
Me did the Koja Santi, me a poultry farmer. Masem ye me.
Koja Santi farm. Okasa ya me da tasre.
Ba akune say. One more de deku anu nyina association anu nyina ano. One more wo haw pa. Say it ni say. Ye mra kunni no mu no. Ye si bibi wo ye friend freedom of association. Na ohwe nipa dodo so wade ye na. Asori mu ni no ma bebre mu no. One more taate wo ho bebrebe ni ye nkofo asebe wo ma so odene. Ti no de sa amra na ye friend freedom of association no. Ebo no ho eban ndi ade a information ya mo pay ebebo ayi nyina edi kan betimi aye biribi afa ho a nyesi ye nyi freedom of association ni mfiri ye ifiri aka bebo a nyesi ye nyi na emum no mo beka bibi edi afa ho se de eminua na ofiri maazi kan ye no oni de odiska ni kan ye nyesi kan am de kan se bia asemi betimi akose sa information ya ye pay nyina wow pese ebeboa wo no wo do ho hye kuo na wo mu no a ebeboa ma mpanimfo no atimi ama ade no aboa megidi se mudi bibi sa hye mu a ebeboa ba ko se akua horo bi wo ho a wo ma no mu aboa ne nyedin azu suban bia wo yemfa na se yenua no ma driver for sebi enam se asase na omukwa akogina so no ntiro eye obidia edi kemu ebetumi aka se mo amfo mo union a ye ma mo ngira ha edi ya na wode ne ho akwa akohim ba do de baku adwuma mu a edin se obebo abo asa nipa no ano nam se ono ana wato na sase ene wa yesi nemom ka abazu bie na no aka se ebi a poultry pharmacy nyina wa amfa ho ankohye kuo no mu ne anka wo no asem ka nyankopon so ma ne ma se bird flu ba compensation ye ntwema ebema de tada ye easy ana de me di wie ne se tomato bo ya Ghana ya tutu samples bebrebe atoagu samples o wa horo de political campaigns adwuma samples bebrebe atutuagu senti ni se wo momo bia enwuma ni nyina hu se o munya mfaso said this is assembly who say be a poultry farmer or honma. No revenue characters and so mugupu kopuma. Gigri, rough road or bad road or no aquaji scano. So, but the quite now fast so call na sani paranamso, a yene jumano, and foul. A the samples be pre tutu atuagu. And the year boy who say Muhia Sadi Tay a bebo yen, and Nunina so. I say me boami nya de tadia kwankra de tane fa so ba no mo yen twa ye ni hwo na yenye Mini chama Cote d'Ivoire. Ebe Busumini. Oko ma Cote d'Ivoire. Service woman no ma bi na fekra o. Yan yedi e hu ni e bibia da obato o man no. Di aban aye no. Ka bia yetim. What is the sabola haka? Yampene. Na so road mark ni ye je. Aso ka na mpene for yetim pa ye di Cote d'Ivoire kro no. Enye. Aso obaga na ha ntesa. Individual de any shepe. Na band de any tan basa. Anu na mada bia se fa se pe bibi ne de ba bontena. Entimi enkoyi. Enti mesre ye ni aba be hia ne se. So omo se yenya ambassador sa. Yenyi asem no ntum. Na de yesra mo so mo koye hu adwuma ma. No omo ba. Yenwie yakomum ne information bi ho bia no yemfa ma wo mo. Na yenko bo akuakuo ni nyina so dawro se. Asondem ne ba bia se omo ba. Yen register yentimi hunu ensusu ya ekoso yedamase.
Yo, yeah, that's it, Mr. Kojo Asante. Yo, okay.
Thank you very much. Me can English now. Me director I can. Until okay. Okay, me can't you know. Yeah, right. Mikrom kasa. Phone number. Me nu yabi bisa phone number ho asem. Yes, ebe phone number no available. Ebe no e be can ID card no. Into who phone number na. This day of true color no. Who phone number na. Obi hu say straight for GSS. So that enya dia we bet ma fa ho I have for wrong number be at home. So we'll make sure say your phone number, your call center. The phone number to join to be who magazine for no we aboso kind mo counterparts akodo for the same arrangement. In fact, there are plans ebe ba mo ho because ye name ho ati adin kita ho dada. Nti ebe ba mo ho so I didn't say you treat mu some they said one area no. You are already a cluster until we are treating you in a special way. Until any moment because any moment for until will come to you and all those clusters. Basically, apart from the meeting, no, said the motivate my boy who said more announcement horns be over more using. So we want to leverage on it so that we can work together. And maybe I can say funeral. It's a very interesting piece. Say I'm passing ye can't ejume bia or Ghana, but in the Ghana Statistical Service, no, you were other service are almost to be captured the okano. They say census na is one of them. Suppose he be if you hono. He be say be say juma ben na until only pass any papa say be a funeral contractor and I'm soon on those. They will say all those ones. And until they will not be left out. You will complement with other ones now. Sabi we intimate you will complement with until for instance we are queenia. My grandmothers are the other service like the census, agri census now, but by agri census so we'll capture those ones. See, at the end of the day, if we put all this data together, we'll have a comprehensive picture of everything. So and we can capture. My brother from trade and industry, thank you. Register now, yes, it's true. Say between 2013 and now, we have not been able to update, but with the IBES, we had a limitation with the previous one. Data you couldn't collect variables. But this time we are correcting those so that going forward, between now and 2033, baby and the next census, in between the census periods, a bit me update our statistics business register. In fact, we have plans for that. You can update both formal and informal. The informal bit is quite complex. No country have done it, but we intend to do it. We have a design that we want to do if it's bought in. Yeah, my brother from the poultry farmers. Question is very vital. Our Beckham be the say we that service produces statistics to inform policy. And forcing people to join associations is a policy issue. Well, the Ministry of Trade, Ministry of Agric, and the district assemblies, they make policy. So our data will provide them the leverage, will give them the framework, will give them the knowledge to that cause. Thank you very much. Maybe you want to add something?
Yo, kakra yɛde ase. Bide kakra bi ka de menua no ɛka yɛ no ho. Obi ka sɛ yɛwie adwuma na yɛpemfo ɛde atre yɛadwuma sɛn na yɛbɛyɛ no. Sisi a yɛwɔ hɔ yi, yɛwɔ bibi, yɛwɔ website wowɔ region biara ehia so baba nkran. Wokɔ hɔ nom a yɛfrɛ bibi wokɔ a wobɛhu Ghana Statistical Service website yɛfrɛ no statsghana.gov.gh. wokɔ hɔ a yɛwɔ baabi a yɛfrɛ hɔ data request. Enti sɛ wopɛ sɛ wohu ebia fish dodoɔ sɛ na yɛ import ba Ghana in 2009 na watwerɛ din no agya number o contact obi kɔ hɔ na wakɔyi na waansa na wafrɛ wo na ɔde ama wo. Yɛdi kan aka kyerɛ mo sɛ yɛbɛwie adwuma no next year February na report na yɛ ready. Nti yɛ ready a wa wopɛ biribiara about Ghana businesses biara no na wakɔ website or no watwerɛ na deɛ wohia no ɛsɛ ɔyɛ specific. Sɛ bia wopɛ tomatoes nipa dodoɔ sɛ na ɛtɔn tomatoes mokɔ busa wɔn dodoɔ sɛ na ɔmo sɛ ɔmo tɔn na wɔtwe ebi ɔsɛ me tɔn 1 ton nse hanso yɛ tɔn nneɛma yɛ ntɔn no yɛsɛ adaka nti ɛsɛ obusa na adaka mu na yɛ ka kyerɛ sɛ yɛkɔ yɛ no ɔsɛ ɔtɔn tomatoes adaka baako na wɔtwe nti bosome no ɛyɛ na wɔtwe 9 nyɛ sɛ ɔtɔn adaka na wɔtwe 9 nti keka ne nyinaa bom a ne ɛhu sɛ kumase dwom na wɔtwe biara no tomatoes nnaka bɛɛ 30 ɛna yɛtɔn. Ɛhe fa no mo kɔ fa free yɛbɛhu yɛbusa mo bɛka kyerɛ yɛn. Sisi ya ntɔkwa aba Nigeria yɛse JNA mai. Enti JNA for ɛhe fa biem no mo bɛkɔ. Nti data no ɛbɛkyerɛ yɛ wesi mkɔ family o JNA so wesi me kɔ Nigeria na yɛhu nti ba yɛbɛkyerɛ nyinaa. Obi a wote asesi a wohia biribi a ɛwɔ data bi ho a wokɔ hɔ a yɛbɛka kyerɛ wo. Ana akɔ yɛ original office region bi a yɛ office wɔ hɔ. Wokɔ hɔ nso a mpanifo na ɛwɔ hɔ nom no ɔmo bɛka akyerɛ wo. Obi so ka sɛ yɛbɛma ne sika na magazine ni no na sɛ magazine mo dadeɛ na hɔ na sika no wɔ. Enti kana me ka sɛ ka sɛ wo sika no bi bɛtaa yɛkyi na yɛdwumadie na yɛbɛyɛ no yɛahyɛ mu kena. Deɛ hɔ ne sɛ wogyae saa ɛna de corruption ba no. Ebi a ba yɛ na wanyi miska mekɔ a mese mekɔ abati kana na ne yɛdie no. Yɛmpɛ sɛ saa bɛsi enti no. Nkurɔfoɔ na yɛafa wɔ no yɛdɔ tudwa sɛ Ghana no okay ma me kɔ reverse kakra. Yɛakyekyem te sɛ square wɔ fɔ kakra a yɛfrɛ no enumeration area. Nti yɛyɛ adwuma a enumeration area bia no yɛde nipa agu hɔ. Nti ebi yɛbɛka sɛ square baako nipa 9 kɔyɛ adwuma ɛno obi anim. Nti nipa 9 ebi yɛ sɛ yɛbɛma ɔmo 100 cedis ɛyɛ fɛ yɛkyerɛkyerɛ mu a na meka sɛ meba magazine mebɛhyia a wɔfa kwadwo asante ɛwɔ hɔ ɛma ne 1000 ebi so ana ni magazine o ana mebɔ bitim ne kae kɔdi sika na de asɛm bɛba. Nti ɛno no yɛ a yɛntaa ɛnyɛ saa ana sika no so yɛde yɛ adwuma no koraa nso yɛ ani so a nti wode ne kɔka ho a woahwɛ ne yɛ awie ni akɔka nsinsɛmu na wɔawa saa aba bɛbusa sɛ battery dodoɔ sɛn na yɛtɔn ne Ghana afi misi bi nim a wɔ sɛ wo boa wanyɛ ne yie nti mommoa yɛn momienyi sikasɛm no nto nkyɛn ne mfa sika ne ma mmabaawa ne mmeranteɛ no a yɛde ɔmo bɛba amoma ba bɛgye data na ma yɛn no ɔmo na ɛsɛ pɛ biribi kakra ma ɔmo na ɔmo de tɔ brɛnsuo na ɔmo anya ahoɔden ayɛ adwuma ne obi nso ɛka sɛ live business update wayɛ yi concern for no so me kyerɛkyerɛ mu freedom name apanya ko yasante sɛ deɛ wɔaka ɛ no Ghana constitution say yɛwɔ freedom of association aban biara ni hɔ a obetimi atwam parliament krom pɛ sɛ ɔmo yi free agye sɛ yɛ referendum nti ɛno deɛ ɛbɛkyɛ but they are not normally aban adwuma no yɛ ne sɛ ohwɛ data no na yɛhu poultry farmers ɛyɛ 100,000 ekuo no yɛ enum biribi a ɛba ɔmo bra bɛsi poultry farm akɛseɛ no so tem bi ɛbɛsɛ mo na mo yɛ hyɛ so ɛma nketewa no yɛde ba bɛsi mo so mo deɛ yɛyi a ana obi bɛka ho sɛ na ɔpanyin kɔgya sante mfa na wonya amoa wei woso yɛka yɛ ho bɔ mu no aban baayɛ ɛmoa ne baayɛ no bɛsi yɛ so ana yɛkyekyɛ ma obi anya bi nti sɛ ɔpɛ sɛ next time iba na anya bi a na nso ɔbɛka ekuro no yɛmakuo no yɛ attractive a na obiara bɛba yɛ ana ban ma yɛpɛ sɛ yɛne nipa yɛkuokuo yɛ adwuma bebree sɛ yɛ a concern for no ɛso bɛteɛ ba ebredu baabi nso a yɛ ana wɔn nso no nneɛma wɔn yɛ no yɛ ana bi wɔ no a ɛtɔ kwam asisie na ɛde ba nti a yɛhwɛ nsɛ biribiara ba a yɛnkyɛ ne pɛpɛɛpɛ na obi anya ne so ne ne deɛ na adwuma ne nkɔ so praise singers bi nua na di ka sɛ yɛ adwuma nti bishop yɛba na woka sɛ wɔsɔre fie ha sɛ asɔfo a ɛwɔ ha yɛ 9 na yɛwɔ wɔfaase baako a ɔno yɛ praise singer asɔfo 9 na ɛwɔ ha yɛwɔ faase baako deɛ ɔno yɛkɔyɛ yi a ɔno ɛbɔ yɛ mmarane ɛmi yɛkɔ yɛbɛtwerɛ no nso so nti ne yɛka sɛ ehia mmoa no wanka nkyerɛn a ɔno yɛ nhunu agye sɛ ebi a yɛ mmabaawa no ɛbɛyɛ adwuma na memenda ɔmo nam na ɔmo kɔhyia sɛ wɔ samrane a ne abusa no sɛ wɔ adwuma ne sɛ ɔsamrane a na wɔsɛ ane yɛsɛ na asamrane a wogye sɛn ne atwerɛ wote he nti ɛbɛwie no sɛdeɛ ɔmi nua kae ne yɛhu nipa dodo a ɛwɔ Ghana samrane na sɛ Ghana yɛ ɛyi international festival bi a yɛakɔfa wɔ mo na mo abɛsa yɛ mrane yɛda mo ase.
Hello, yeah. Yada young papa ase. Yebesa afa the next round of questions. But mesre say yade akasanimu ema wa eya so mfimfin no. Social media for no say also ano na ema breaks no. Omo a omo tie na omo nte. Nti o kasa ya so mfimfin kakra na o voice etimi aba. Yada ase.
Hello. Epacho Edamasi. Meeting the Robert Fodio over the Counter Medicine Sellers Association, PLO. Pacho Masem Busai and he said, Yabetie Monsama Modia Mai. Ye kono, ye kobo hon de wood ya che umu ye chino. No muso ediako. Omu fie mu ensembisa no ebi ne sen omu mbeyi omu so mumla ye na so no omu ba ensembisa no bi ene sen afi obi oton ice water e wo kwan ho no mobusa no edi nansa no onu adwuma nti no koton ice water edi nansa no ice water no wajai ni sika asa wakotre fie ena mobo for nso akan na ka enipa mo hwe omu ho ena obi nso wa adwuma mu ena makan no edu be na otwimienu no adwuma wura yi na di otifi a onya adwuma tini nso mo behede mo be di aboa yen afei omo mbeba beji data no megitum sɛ nyɛ mo a moti hɔ ya na mo beba mo beyi enipa bi na aba a omo fa data no so ema obia bibi betumi asi na wɔne mu anya adwuma biem na wɔgyae baabi a ɔkɔkɔgye information deɛ mumunim bia bibi kura si ɔne nipa korɔ ntɛm ɛno nti ɔne mo gyae deɛ a ɛne sei na meyɛ saa nipa nso ɔne mo gya adwuma a na ɔde obi information ba abɔnten a deɛ na mobɛyɛ afa ho pamtwo deɛ twa tuo ni megyi tum sɛ mo frɛ akuakuakɔ no ɛyɛ association for na mo frɛ yɛn enti mesɛ sɛ yɛne mo yɛ adwuma na sɛ mo nso mo ne yɛ adwuma deɛ a ni wa bia na me nua ba me ɔkasa o magazine bia wɔ chama hɔ na bibia si akoduru mpanimfo n'anim na ɔno chama no mum adi anim akɔka bia na n'anim nya dunti yɛ mua no obɛhwɛ na message bi free soro hɔ message ne ban deɛ authority emu odu ne akɔka ma saa nipa no na ɔnya no ho adi basa na abu nipa na ɔwɔ fam hɔ n'anim tia enti basa ema association enkoso na de ntawantawa de abrɛ yɛ ne ɛwɔ fam no ti mesɛ sɛ bibisa aba na mpanimfo no mu di ekuo n'anim no de information bi aba na edi yɛn edi o manim a na mo ahwɛ nsɛm a yɛde ban sɛ emu ya na mo aboa na adwuma no akɔso medam ase
Grazie.
Wedi ojina machi pene de na me de asoso. Ya frame Thompson Atibila, mo Association of Ghana Industries. Ene dwuma de mani age ho pa. Sansa me wo me office ho no mo a brano enkrofo ba manufacturer say na wokuma ase ene ade but you freedom of association. Enti di odwen ne me no ono no ho information ena me wo. Enti nyame boa na sese adwuma de we etimi koso a at least menya a place here me pe complete information na meko ho obi ba me so matima boa no enti ye de ya krado mo ye ready a focal people na mo hia mo fa nka ho ye be boa amna koso kama de to so mi no ye ka omo a ye register omo no nko a nso so ye hwa mostly SMEs no adwuma wura sabe ofiri mu a na adwuma no na agu enti mo ahihye bi sɛ adwuma na agugu no so mo beyiyi afiri mu ana sanse ye de keka ho saa na figure na ekosoro na ya adwene ye sɛ ye wo enwuma bi a ɔha mehu a no bia na aka adueso ye representatives ye free ekuokuo no bae enka susua ba ko amesan de aka ho ne sɛ ya na ya ankasa so ye general meetings. And the general meetings no be a district and also regional reps more have from statistical department no. Na kamaba. Then so maba yen chechire kakra maye. Fa questions ya moba yen crofo no ho a mo betimi abisa no. And also so mo betimi abeducate here na omo adom ni na e wo ho no. Obi wo asembisa bia. No abisa. And also besa serve as another education. Yen crofo no ebeti ho asem nyina. The etwato Samu training data collectors na mesre say no so mo de be ka ho na yeso yakọ na obi omubusa ya asem bia etma yi ano se de ese medase
yo medase on that note no ka before obebusa the question no on that note no oka asemi for stakeholders schedule o bit matranse nti enkrata bi ekrame menua be ma no be start ya cheche amamo nti no otro name of institution na contact person telephone number of that contact person na meeting days no tama motashia no mo de tosoma ya ye be ma ye staff no mo ashanti memu no e ba be hia mo na nkomodie bia wo no mo edi ti sa paper no be call rounds. Okay, so yeah, the third person.
Yo, your friend Mr. Zoga, Pacho mewo ejum na jumedi a ekosi ya ɛho bɛhia sɛ mfasodeɛ bɛfiri mu aba yi. Mpɛpie no yɛ na yɛwɔ adwuma mu no yɛdwumadie no yɛ na ɛyɛ sononko kakra ɛfa yɛ maame no mu a yɛne wɔdi dwa no ho kakra. Enti na sɛnea na onua ne ka no na mepɛ sɛ mɛka no so ɛm sɛ Mr. Asante yi ano sɛ sikagyie bia ɛntumi nkɔ saa mmoa no. Wobɛkɔ dwuma obi a ɔyɛ dwadini a ɔwɔdi dwa no sɛ wobɛbu sɛ wo ne didi nkɔmmɔ bi a na ɛfa no sɛ wobɛtɔ adeɛ ne adeadeɛ a na ne time na ɔde ma wo no yɛ na ɛyɛ den paa. Enti sɛ kɔba ne sɛ biribi saa ɛnni hɔ a na memmɛsrɛ aka ato so sɛ saa nkɔfɔ mbɛkɔ dwom no deɛ nkɔmmɔ ma ɔkɔmmɔ abotrɛ no ɛnnɔɔso paa. Because obi di ne dwa na sɛ bobusa ne nsɛm biara saa ɔno bɛfa no sɛ nsɛm biara saa na wokɔ yɛ a biribi ɛmfiri mu mba no a na ayɛ sɛ wogye ne mmerɛ a ɔno ɔde yɛ n'adwuma no. Nti sɛ nka biribi saa ɛnni hɔ deɛ a na yɛahwɛ ɔhɔ no so yie ne yɛmɛtumi aka kakra no no. Thank you.
Thank you. Take the fourth person.
Pacho me Dean de Father Joseph Asante. Na minia ibako kasa. Ochire mu se asori mosque shrines. Wankumu ye pa me hu se asori no watu ni din se eye business. Eno nti na oba ho abedi nkomo ho a mepese ho ne clear pa. Sa sorry no as a dance you a nipe woman no. Because of authority me fed nipa obi a security man or software be a yituaneka yitua nipa bi kentina mobaho abeka asorena as a business entity. Enye clear said there be a yensu ye chirichiri mu aye easy ama asorema no. And two a year registration and say all register sorry no say a dime na a year business intina mobebaho. 3 now I'm sorry nenso ne mosque nem penim for the dada de jume dia no na hu say any business there the ye here free mo A B C D for communication purposes. Because there were misconceptions be brave about census, whether it is economic, whether it is population, or whether it's about agriculture. And I munim penifo amoteanzo say bibia obeye as data connected to other agencies and other sub-agencies and other people who work with data. For instance, if I am a businessman, na obeji data free me hwa ade bebe me trim straight away and say I will be publicized and it's easy for GRA to locate me. Omo beba nso e was me to tax. But the first misconception about Ghana statistical data and say oje de ama omo na omo ayeme ABC. It is a nsua de ni year na ye normal ebema misconceptions na ayi bebre enti oba me ho a I can say anything and you go anyhow. And I know data and no so a very resourceful information for all of us to work with. Enti mesre say asori de na clear mosque de na clear na dwumadi mu hia free asori no no so enye very clear, especially ye hu bia omo role no very very important to the data collection until ehono ehia me pa na yensu etimi a communicate ye ama monya information na mo pen me da say
you da say can we have the last hand? Yes, over there. Before a year no.
Okay, thank you. May Dean the dancer in Grammy, a broadcaster. Currently, very currently, many statistical service for year back on her, but I will not mention the name. The last person I met with, for instance, obviously training in Ankoyi, something to do with living standard measure. Statistics be a normal year, data or more collected. Which approach, me who say, more of an ambush. Me kwejuma, where she am. I started beside me questions. So normally it was an anger. Then living standard, who beside me meeting. So then again, maybe that's a Medina Ubisan, what has it got to do with my living standard? What has it got to do with the way I live? Me kamana bibisa. And obviously to me, no training in any. And James said, Obia Kawaha, and I saw from Zaboso. And I think it's important say training no too. And Grofona won't be called out no. Mubeshe Mukina. The second thing is about education. Mestre say education no ebeba more. Because it's education and ma na mo opportunity to pick information from the field. Minim say na mo ye mo adwuma, but ebia say questions no ya test and who likely answers ebeba. Questions na ye de be kwa bonten no. Ebema ye the obi kan ye no. Twi mu no me hu word no but brofo a lot of ambiguity. It's a question na ye deep. Na so baby sam say adwuma ben na me ye na me say me ton body e. Na wan go deeper. And we say a bium. It is one thing you will get. Again, even obviously with demo hano, we still have some ambiguity in terms of information now war panel. Is it because it's a registered business? And I said there are people gathered there who get paid. These are some of the issues I say more draw my attention, occupy my attention. Now more address it whilst you are engaging the public. It may make concern very much about publicity, education, and educating your field officers. Those are the three concerns, may I say.
Thank you. Chairman 24 Eyano. Now we are questions then we take another set of questions. Okay, Director, yeah, you can start.
Oh, 24 Damasepa Linsim Busay. You addition Emma Yenina. Inti be free hand and Yenina Yajane Bako. Na Yadi Akodi Juma. Men shall see free the OVSCA. Open broadcaster Mokran, ye hear Mokese. And to what I say, my Yanibajan Hopa, now you sure. Ubonyum Kakra, no what teach you Mukakra. Ubonyum Kakra, no what teach you Mukakra. Into Ambassador number 1. Na dia woka ye no ye nokre se me di kaka se ye adwuma no Ghana mra hye ye se wo ma ye nyem hwehwemu ni ye hu de ekoso na ye mfanto mpanifo anim enti ye survey bi ye wie last week ni ye friend Ghana Living Standard Survey no ye ne listing che se ye kofie bia mu na ye busa nipa dodo a team quick one. Asa na chire ya select bi na ya detailed eno bebe chire enti na listing form no ana obi ko ya wanya abotre ne ye nua be ma ankasa no training na ye wo mu ye pilot ye test questions no ye busa nkrofo na de enye ne yasesem ti se de ne mo be hia ye strategy ya de ko ye adwuma no ebe sesa kakra si abesua bibia fremu ho enti ya ye sa ansa na ye de Yasoma nkrofo no ama omako. Na ya na ye busa din no to prevent bibi e friend double counting. Ye ba ha sese a mehia Kodwo Asante. Uba medwuma ma obi afre me Kodwo Asante. Nti ukoka Kodwo Asante na ase ye mienu ye hwe anima e bia manyini che no. Nti ukoka Kodwo Asante wo se o wodi 75. No bi so ni se Kodwo Asante wodi 40. Ha adwe nti ye je characteristics ni nyina so that ye double counting. This is who just at 75, could just at 75. Omunjina at Micklin Hotel. Now there's something wrong. You need to delve deeper to take one out. It's in a data no, but many di kankae. Emrasha yese, emfa individual data, emma ubia. Inti wow the kwakoma ubino. Asemba ni hua, you could be jailed. A law Emrana Parliament pass we don't give out individual data, personal data, unless a court of law orders it. Nti no I just a judgment bi aba. And sign a judgment in a issue near publish it. And sign officer of the service can give personal individual data to anybody, including any government institution. Nti no yenye. Me so bi so busa earlier. Nti education there ye. Say where him see class 1 we be kyerɛ de obi be di first obi so ebe ka akyire ya famu de sese ye ye ne asɔne so ne de the best aba na dia maybe dia na ye ne say ebia we broadcaster we be hwe osɔre 3 am na ekɔ watetewa onyawo enti ufie no so ya de sese fie ha ni party ho no esese onyawo ene wo kasa. Nti obi a obi be ka kyerɛ so papa o sorry 3 am o nti obeduru honum na ope basic one 10 na waje nti bia na de ba ye nti fa ye form so kye ye next training na ye be highlight exercise of discretion and patience in data collection. The next thing papa so for ka kyerɛ ye ye see business na de na ye kwa sorry business na yese edin a ye de ato adwumadie na ye no na yi pa ye economic statistics na ese etudin na edin a ye hu se ye a ebe capture 80% of ade a ye be ye no ene ma ye to ne the integrated business establishment survey ana ye nso enu se Ghana ha sisi hotel credit ya sorry me boana aha nti waba ha se ekro no se eye hotel no ese obusa se mo sa de ye bibibie ma na o se full gospel fellowship for enso hia ha ne ya tro ni nyina esa de bibiem ya esa de ye wedding de bibie esa de ye yie nti ebe hu no ne nya profile of what goes on there nti na ma asori be kan ho no ye pese ehu omo provide service church service provision. And how do we capture them? Church provide service. Ye re ho a papa so for ne ekọ. Ye wo a papa so for ne tudi. Obi wo a ye kọ papa so for na wa cheche ye re. O provide service. E bi enye ye ne etua ne ka. Asori ne ne be kwan ehwe se ono so asetrem ebe ye yi. Nti na ema ye ba asori, ye kọ mosque, ye kọ shrine pesi ye hu de obi ye no. Enye se ye register asori. You need to register church. But say we are a Roman software. Roman the minimum with data. Muni masori nyina. The better one who say Roman sorry does such a Methodist there. I just an independent person because Methodist for sorry 1,000. Roman there 3,000. Ewa Ghana. Then you so ye appeal for funds to increase a year. So now what you my year. Until you register, but just to have the numbers to publish for our economic development. And when Tina taxes, medical ka say yemra ni me emfa nipa individual data ema obi ka say na say nipa kro no what training no waja adwuma no Ghana so bi ja adwuma na ne bo afu na to ne akeka enunti say data no ye the tablet and eba same card same into wo type adene was we ya ne ko enti nipa na wo ye you need control over the data omo abiom be use paper ye big companies no omo kra ye be send ama omo no afele no so send aba ye ya ka no SMEs ne de me gina oni na abodin kwasi mensa me di 50 meter ahojo me free adangoma se ye wie ni nyina obia no amia send ye officers a omo hwe ho umi send na won ho to ni control ntu be wie na refi enti eno ne de be kan wo se obi gya ye adwuma obeye sa de no kra so ye hu a ye mra no etimi ye kyew obi ye osa me asonte. In fact, nenka me beka se obi ka se meetings, club meetings, nti me sure say regional directors na wa nyina na omo publish omo number no mfa to screen so no bi antro. But your back office, montro omo numbers, RS is nyina numbers. name and number, region, na mo highlight it. Nti kuo no wo ye meeting a no afrɛ wo mo. Enye tem bia na ye yi. We are to train the adwuma no no. Ono ne hwɛ region so. Wo frɛ na obɛba na oba ba kyerɛkyerɛ mu. Bibia nso hawa no waka me yaso ati. Nipa kro no bɛyɛ saa no. Emra ene ne bedi. Ana a questionnaire content. Yemra no so kyerɛ sɛ ansa na akɔgye bɛyɛ census bia na sɛ o publish questionnaire no. Nti ansa na yɛbɛba no you live to a website yɛbɛkɔ assembly press a gazette. You have to gazette it so that when there's disputes, that's the one we use. Nti yɛbɛkɔ assembly press akɔ gazette. Nti questionnaire no wɔ hɔ. But remember coordinator na abobɔ na poso ebi akyerɛ yɛn na yehu ɔmo ba nsɛm a ɔmo betimi abusa na yehu yebebusa baabi a woyɛ adwuma no sɛ yɛ physical structure yɛbɛteki GPS coordinates nti no logina wanim hɔ a wɔyi na ni wateki nti yɛsaka Kodwa Asante a ne coordinate ni Kodwa Asante ɔpanyin Kodwa Asante so coordinate ne me de different nti no na be distinguish yɛn yɛ de ayɛ saa. Nti content ne bɛbobɔ so kakra. Obi a wɔkyenyi na adwuma ma kyerɛkyerɛ mu. Ana sɛ yɛ bɛboa a club leaders nso so. Ama sɛ BBC a yɛmfa wɔ mo so yɛndi omanim na bibia nkɔ so. In fact, adwuma ne yɛ pene dodo. Nti mo bia ɛbɛboa yɛ ama adwuma na kɔ yie no. Yɛbɛyɛ. Enti leaders no ana me pese de regional officers ni di to dwa no omo numbers to dwa wo frɛ yɛn a yɛbɛba na yɛbɛkyerɛkyerɛ mama won crofo dispute bi wo ha yɛn yɛbɛtena ase na yɛakeka yɛadwena bom na ya solve ama asumdue aba ɛto de ade a na yakɔdan papa sɔfo ɔno nso de asante enti yɛfrɛ na obɛyɛ yie akɔ aman AGI yɛda wase pii ene momoa yes yɛwi a data no AGI upa yɛde mo nti no wa hu sɛ enipa 1000 ana kɛse ka bi ɔmo yɛ members mo yɛ 500 ɛkwan a bɛfa so atwe ɔmo aka de no de ɛgye wa ɛno yɛ strategies a wobɛyɛ ɛne encouragement a ɔde bɛma wɔ mo ɛne bɛma obi a bam yɛdi kan ka sɛ Ghana constitution allows freedom of association nti yɛyɛ ntimi nhyɛ enipa nyinaa dead association yen that organization yen ye ba wadwuma gu ase adwuma na gu enti enye adwuma eye live we are building a live business register enti se adwuma be kra na gu okumase ase poku transport kra se gu enti enti mi nkoka se poku transport e wo hono ye enti mi nka bio na ebia ba ko na aba na fe ne se kra basis eye B number VIP wo ho ni akọ VIP station ni ebusabusa o mon sense mase ebusabusa o ha anti pocket transport bio nti be wie no na business a eye adwuma as at the time October 2023 businesses are na wo ho October 2023 and ye be capture obi si o na ukọ na nipa no water ice water wachro na ade achi no obekọ na wagya akoye adwuma fofore nipa kura yewu. So that is it be called ba at least inti ya issue reference period. Inti yebeka say as at October 2023 ne businesses e Ghana na 2.6 million according to IBES. Asori e wo mi yesay poultry farmers yesay ice water for yesay ni a kyerɛkyerɛ mu ya disaggregate na obi a ehunu. Enkyerɛ sɛ ebi ngu ebi begu ebi ba bɛka ho. Nti saa nete ana osi ya yenya abotre yate ye tweli ye nkrofo na ye beka kyerɛ sɛ abotre hia pa wakɔ maame no ba adwum ye ntɔ ne banche obi abebeto banche afi na ase maame wo so di ne yesɛn ye beka kyerɛ sɛ obi tɔ banche a ɔmo ntwɛn ma banche ne ye ntonwie na ɔkɔ no ansa na ɛnde ya yelim sɛ ebufu eyi ɔte wɔkra ne ba afrɛ ne sɛ teacher pamoni school obi beto banchi afi na abebusa nse adwum banchi ne kofa free hefa okofa free akoma dan ya damase
Okay, director, that's it. Project coordinator, ebe take content of the questionnaire. No, about Bob also kakra amai.
Thank you. Questionnaire, no, it's very simple. I have a complex. Second phase, no, the way the next year, no, and then more detailed. Because we have a no, some kind of census, the snapshot into it's giving us the framework into your name of business, maybe our detailed address, the exactly what you are doing. Bunch in our time, we'll take it. If you are manufacturer of furniture, so the principal activity, their business, no the principal activity of the business, we want to know. And the business, no, say, well, apart from the principal now, or maybe or different for your council, we want to know. Then a person who the number of people that the business employs. Jumana or Hina Juma or how many people are working in that business? So your own so we just want to write one. If you have other employees, we want to know. Jumana or who owns the business? Who are the owners? Are they all a man their own business and whether it's the numbers, whether it's women owned, female owned, or both male and female, we want to know the numbers. Are they Ghanaians? Ghana for now. And I bring free Amanone, and I bring free Africa, and I bring free Bibi. We want to know the ownership distribution. Where are the owners? Who are the owners of the business? Where they come from, and all that. And they want to know: is a business? What register will be now? Who will register general department? And not register our assembly. And not register will be what have you? Want to know whether I have some source of registration and all that. And then a person who say, the Jumana and the business in terms of its sales, for instance, which group, and we are not collecting specifics. Maybe annually, every year, last year, your sales between 1 and 10,000, and 11,000 to this number. Just want to know that purpose. That statistics is for size, business, categorize it in things. Whether is it a small business, is it a micro business, or is it a large business? It's not actually to come to you to say, oh, you're making sales between 1 and 10,000, so bring this tax. No. Okay. So as my director said, Statistical Service is in the business of producing statistics, but we are not in the business of taking taxes. So do all those this information we want to collect is to enhance the statistics that you want to collect on businesses. I don't know whether I've left out anything, but they will collect a contact number so that a person about Bioma, we want to come back to you. We know we need to locate you. So that we take your GPS. That's a digital address of the business. And maybe if you have a head office, we want to know, because at the end of the day, we want to link all head offices and all establishments. And say, head office, maybe our branches, so Takradi Kumasi and Tamalini. We want to link all as one business because that is an enterprise. And then those we don't have head office, your own head office, you want to know. And so these are the information that you'll be collecting from you, from the IBES. As the director said, we'll publish the detailed business questionnaire. And if you want it, or if you go to our website, you get there on the tab IBES. Thank you very much.
Yo, project coordinator, that's it. So, question behind you, who be my sisters, no, and man or mugwech, you know, or much check coupon fitabi, pamcho, a coupon I day air call lunch, a bako didi, a VA. Na hotel no say o wura ho na on kita saa coupon na o ma wo enwura ho enkodidi te be sere se mo be kita coupon no yie se free ha na ye nyina aton santin na yakopa bibi kakra akaya no na yadamase nti se question bia ni ho biem dia na che say Yo, yeah, mammy, mo Queen Mothers. Yes, mon Kasai. Inti sir Obako, Evagina, Manemu, Akabibi, Achaya. Daddy, Obaso Kamibi. Oh, Pacho. Where is the mic? It is a Wiana, yeah, mammy, Queen Mother.
Officers should come out, advertise, talk about it. So by the time we are now the whole information is up there. I'm saying yeah answer. I'm saying be if you answer.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Opening that say. Yeshia Muahano is one of the publicity activities. Your jingles are my boss are before you be free Hano, you obey jingles, you know. It's a plan there's a plan to ensure say all the radio stations play this jingle to get us to listen. The only thing is we will not have the visuals, but audio, we're gonna have audio on all the radio stations. And Information Services Department, ISD, also on van no. Yes, your original office is to mobile. Thank you very much. Yeah, community radio stations also play our jingles. Thank you.
Mame, Pacho, which my transi? Mame, transi. Aha.
Yo, mi ranu me pamucho. If you come and set up, when I'm data for Januano. Me de efie sewa me dina pa abrube unyame ane maami broni emi busaka kra ma me dwamfo se edwa no ho no ebi bedwam bia no nan ayire so a no nu ne fa na bi wo dwam ho na wo be kofie akwaka ni pa no wunya no na edwam ho na mboba be ka wo nu mana de etosu bie mu sesi aya bai ye dwamfo mpanimfo yi ukokura se asema me call ya media bel mu metie kura ana wonum so ye beti ya ba ya amaka kire ni enti nkemare srade ne se kampanimfo no bi mummra se so amedwom anyemani ba ntoma wa ha edwomfo amofre ye nyina ye mpanimfo wa ha nanka mo aboa yen aba ni wonum akasa amaye me ko mefre yen enso edwa ye die no na mo die mo aye akrachefo mpanimfo ne die sa mo ba amo be frɛ yen aye di mo nim fɛde no mo anim hu ebe ba betie ensam no aye amo ka no me da mo ase ma no wasi
Mama, yeah, that's it. Let me show. Aita, you want to respond?
Hello, Mami Bruni. Do you know when I'm saying? Yeah, that's it. We are here, my dear, should trim the acco. Until the car said, you be a tea, Macquay Queen, maybe, as him. Ye bema, ye a cratch for a wahani be aba, Tafo, Swami, and ne Bantima, and the Mababe share. Na, ye, actually, the moon said the okay, no. Nipa kakra so a obetimi abo mama ne no wokọ abo mama ne enti se yeba ne yebeka bi asoso a na ayemre ama yenyina se yi mpanifo frɛ o akọye ne yese yeba nya behu adwuma a obi a ye na yeba behu no yebeba wadwuma mu ho na se adwuma no se bi wo fie a ana na menua ne ka no ye behwe se bia wo bantuma wo saa obi wo iswame wo obi watafo ye nim se bi mu ye ne saa wo baba ko watafo wa na supply no nti ye ba wo be kyerɛkyerɛ yen ni atwero ni nyina na ye de aye edwuma nti de waka no yate ye beboaboa ye ho na ya hwɛ abe ye amadwumadie no October duru ha ni nyina akɔ kama ama yen advert in the menu and a year no. Advert in the Cassia Pan and say, Yen I at ye. In the air, what them I ever 100. Jesus Christ by your dinipa edu me no na ye. In the area who I want to be Jesus and so yentimi. That's it.
Mami Bruni me jidi se oda tafu jumani. Woko tafu juma. Ya wo brode hima. Ya wo nam hima. Ya wo banche hima. Ya wo moton nentwinam. Nene ya keka ho ni nyina. Enti no fiti hono na wonso wahia saa nipekuo yi na omonso ejina so na bode hema eso ne bode fo akokasa. Enti senia mepanyin kan ye no ye de empanyinfo no ebeba ho de nanso megidi se semonso mo fa ne saa ekuakuo yi a ebetumi aboa kakra na dwumadie no so etumi akoso ebi a wokofre no dwom hofo nyina se momra eno ene bi a wonya se dodo no beba na mom ahemafo emunim se mekọ saa bia we se ekodi se adwuma we mekọ ye no se ni enesi ye enti mo nso mo nkọ na one wo board defo one wo ntosifo one jenefo enkonko di sa nkomo no efa mayen begidi se ye no so ye de no bemu a ebeboa ama yedwumadie no atumi akoso amayen medase
yo medase daddy ye da munyina mwase na answer be free ha no enti training o se oni ye kasa enti ebetie closing remarks free young papa Mr. Anthony Opon. Mr. Chairman.
Yo abusuafo ebeda ye urade hweduan pon Nyankopon ase so wo wa yen free ye fie mu na ode behia ha na wahwe yen so amadwumadi ebedi ye nyina awie asomdwem kama sei na yede asede toso ama yen papa Kodwo Asante ne dom a omofre yen ebae minimse omudi dwumaso de aboa oman chichire na yebeda omase free se omudwene ho se dwumadie no omuni ye na edi so omofre yen ba no omudi kan chire ye nemamu me ye te ase ansampo no omaba abonten ye wo man mu yenim se ban dwumadie no bebre ekosu se aya na omo nkai se omuni nipa na ebeye nti so omunya enya kitahudie. A typical example eye bibi e ba ya na efre ni yi levi ye ti ya na se ye hya ase edi hoye bebre ba oman mu a ekowi ase no de na nka ye pe no ye nsanka me fi se senkitahudie sei ba ebo dwumadie no ema ne koso ema nipa no ya wote ne ho ase enti ye beda omo ase ne ada omasi biom so se omadi kan besiesie ya adwene yenuanom magazine fo ho na mrante wo mojahye ho no ti wono ma no so bi di fola hye no moto mu no pie ho no ne bedi nkomo a eye pene pebe he obi kura tie kire wonim ne ekoso na obeso so na ekodare ntokwa ye koi ye kobo mama ne se ye koye de yakotie ni enti wo se krachi bi ahye coat na wo hye jacket na wa ba ye sremu a adwobre ye no mu ni nkomo na aboa amadwumadie no aye from amayen na aboa ye nyina ne omano nchichire ye pesa so adomasi biom so amoma ye hu se dwumadie no omo ya ama ye nyina emfaso ebeba so ama oman no ene ye ankrankra ye oman nim titru ye Ghana Union of Traders Association gutafo ye dwumadie mu na se on bete ye se gutafo ne foreigners for ye tutu omu shop mu ne nema ye nim se ye nuanom kwa abontin so akọhwei ombehu nipa hoho dodo a enei omabegu omemu anoma omoji emrante ne emabaawa omawie school omunya adwumaye no bodwa adwumadi a omoye de nyoma no aduane emomtimi de bobra no omoji afiri ensem no yenuanom de ba betudwa na aman ba bia wo ha no ma ne ayeye no wonte ase ade bia omso omoboye trisu no omonso ate ase se enye gutafo enye ntokwa ne yepe na emom ye bo oman no ho ban ye so ye fa ye betumi aye de aboa oman no chichire eno no bio ye te say yes importation dollar cost no yen gutafo and obi abo ye tiri so ɛna ɔmo sɔre a mɔkra nneɛma akrakrakra nsusuemu akyerɛ sɛ nneɛma no a yɛkra no koraa no yɛn ɛfa a yɛkra no Ghanafoɔ fa a yɛkra no yɛ just 15%. Yɛhwɛ sɛ yɛm nuanom kɔ abɔnten ɔmo de saa data no nso bɛba na mpanyinfoɔ hunu sɛ sɛ yɛ ahɔhoɔ manframanfrafoɔ no ɔmabɛgu a no a ɔmo de ɔmo sika fira ma no na ba no ɔmo na ɔmo de saa nneɛma no bɔ ɔman mu na ɔmo bɛyɛ adwuma no na ɔmo gye sika no de kɔ ɔmo kurom nti ɛde nteaseɛ bɛba na ndakye Ghana Union of Traders Association for yɛsɔre na yɛka asɛm a yɛnya ɔman ma no nyinaa yɛn support nti yɛbɛda yɛn nua Kodwo Asante sorry ɛne ne team ase bebree afei ɔman ba pa a wɔso sɔre anɔpa dware nsuonyi no bɛtena ha meda wase bebree so ɔba yɛyi wabɛboa yɛadwenkyerɛ a yɛkyerɛ yɛ menim sɛ ɛde nsesaeɛ bɛba adwumadi a ɔmo kɔ akɔyɛ no mu ama sɛnea nka na ɔmo bɛyɛ no ɔmo adane ɔmo nsa aboa ɔmo nso ama ɔmo dwumadie no akɔ so no aboa yɛ nyinaa yɛba yɛyi wadi wo ho ni yɛ questions bisɛm kasatwitwie ɛne atɛnniɛ biara mmam wo nso wayɛ adeɛ paa onyame hyira yɛ nyinaa yɛnim sɛ next time bibi ba ne yɛto nsa frɛ a yɛ nyinaa bɛba ne abɛboa ama adwumadie no akɔ so yɛda mo ase bebree
Umanye ni ye my papa. Timoni me baya adwen say ona oye ye chairman. Nti chairman ye da say na me hira wo. Wa kasa so bonsama ho. Wa ya de na me hira wo say wo so obae. Impenifo nyansem no. O say ye mamu bi kakra na mo de ye transportation na mo de ko. Nti ma yɛn prepare yɛn ho ɛnsɔre no yɛde bɛkɔ ɔmo canteen hɔ akɔ akɔpɛ biribi kakra aka ya no na endi kan ne asɔfo ne ɔmo mo mu because kotodwe no ɛha adwene mami broni ane ne nkrɔfo nti okay bamjo montrance na yam brother no anya sa adwuma no ɛman yo yɛwie yɛn dwumadie no na yɛakyekyɛ nkrataa bi nso ama mo ne nyinaa ɛka publicity no ɛho sɛ ɛsɛ na yɛn papa ebusaeɛ no nti mokɔ a na mombɔ de ro no ɛma yɛn sɛ ɛnkyɛ yɛbɛba ɛne ma bɛdi saa nkitaho no yɛbɛda mo nyinaa so ase na yɛde onyankopɔn ɛna ɛhyɛ aseɛ ne sɛ nti ɔsɛ yɛde otue di ampɔn ɛnso ewie nti mɛfrɛ me nua bɛrima elder Samuel Akrofi Daako na ɔmɛpɔn yɛn yɛmbɔ nsɛm ma yɛn brada baako elder baako pɛ
abusuafo pamtɔ mo yɛmmerɛ kɔma ase na yɛmmɔ mpaeɛ dodo a yɛbɛtumi no yɛnyina yɛ nan so nyina yɛ nan so pamtɔ yɛbɔ mpaeɛ onyametumfoɔ yɛda wase mpɛmpɛnso a wode yɛn abɛdui yɛde ɔman Ghana hyɛ wo nsa yɛde IBES hyɛ wo nsa yɛde adɔfoɔ nyinaa ne nnwuma hyɛ wo nsa ma wodom nnɔɔso ma yɛn ɔdɔba Yesu din amen.
Edi mepamocho moma yen trans kakra na yam brother Steven